Good evening. Welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. This is the continuation of The Eyes of a Stranger for Call of Cthulhu by Gaslight, running it here in our Hudson and Brand campaign. Um, yeah, this is part four, I think, of this scenario, our fourth session of this particular scenario. So we'll pick up right where we left off. It is the morning of Wednesday, the 16th of December, 1891 or 2 were we in? I no longer remember. Interesting. I'll find out later. It's not important. The early 1890s. Um, you guys are planning to try to spring Constable Bill Baker, or also known as some unnamed crazy Chinese lady from Bedlam Asylum. Well, also known as Bethlehem Hospital, but everybody just calls it Bedlam. Um, yeah, and the plan was for Belgrave to pose as the patient's husband, a Mr. Charles Baker. I have to scratch out my notes there because I had a different alias that he had chosen before. But yeah, Charles Baker. I think we discussed that off camera. If anybody watched the last session, they're probably thinking, wasn't it Brady? That's the same thing I thought. But yeah, we talked about it a little bit more after in between. So we're going to go with Charles Baker, being a name, hopefully, that if he really is or she really is Constable Bill Baker, she will recognize, etc. So yeah, there you go. It's Wednesday morning. How do you wish to go about this?
Well, the thought initially was that Ruben was going to go ahead under the guise of, give me a second. Oh, we went there to, no, was he going there to discuss? Crap, what was the.
He was going there to, I think, meet with his former colleague.
Ah, that's right, the librarian. We were going to use that as a ruse to use her, while walking to talk to her to slip a bit of a bribe to see this crazy Chinese woman that they had talked about on the street, and then pass a note with the most brief.
So it is currently located in St. George's Fields, Southwark, as the locals call it, or Southwark as it's spelled. I love to drive the English viewers crazy with my pronunciation. Southwark.
Suffolk, yeah.
It's spelt, I'll put it in the chat now, Southwark. Southwark. Makes sense, right? No, doesn't make sense if you ask me, but
Not
that's
at all.
okay.
It could be Welsh and it would be like Robert.
Apologies, Stephanie, if you're watching. The only Welsh viewer I know of that we have. Also, the creator of Hudson and Brand. I'm sure she appreciates your humor.
It is an incredibly creative language. I only said that out of.
I know, I do. Stephanie has a good sense of humor too. I'm sure we're fine. So, I'm just looking at where that is on a map of London. Okay, so it's down there, kind of near London Bridge, if I'm looking correctly. Yeah, not too far. A little bit further southwest of London Bridge. Trying to look at. Oh yeah, so it's more or less across the river from Whitechapel, Tower of London. Well, right across from the city of London proper, I guess. But yeah, right. So it's not too far for you to travel. Not like you have to take a 3-hour train, right, or anything to get there. So. Everybody going?
Yep.
Having your own carriage driver, Albert Stafford, take you, I presume?
Well, first I dress down.
Right.
And I would want to be dropped off a ways away where I'm not in view of the asylum, so I could walk the rest of the way there.
Giving it some thought, I probably don't even need to lie, because Ruben could just go in there as a curiosity, as that's what they do. They investigate the curious, slip the right person a little bit of coin, a little bit of paper, and ask for a few minutes for a private interview and be done with it. As we said, they probably don't give one flying flip for this individual.
I mean, you are
I
an
would
inquiry agent. You could be under the employ of her husband, right?
indeed.
You could be
Sounds like a yep.
accompanying Mr. Baker.
The less of a lie, the better it is.
Indeed.
Yeah.
How about we get there a few minutes earlier just to set the mood of we're in the ploy of the husband. He's supposed to be making an appearance today. We're doing a preliminary to make sure that she's cleaned up and not completely
Sure,
disheveled by the
sure.
time
So
he
you want
gets
to get
there.
there a few minutes ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
Who's coming with you? Are you bringing Gerard and August both with you?
That would be the plan unless they have other considerations.
What do you
No,
think?
I must admit to a certain curiosity for the merciful House of Bethlehem. Yeah, and I think August is thinking about it like a trip to the zoo almost. He's trying to maintain propriety.
Man, I want to go to that zoo.
I'll come in, and I'm gonna bring my violin in case we need a distraction. I could pull out the violin and say I'm trying to give some entertainment to the inmates or soothe them or whatever, and that might cause a distraction if we need one.
All right. Sounds good. So, as always, of course, Gerard is bringing his violin case with an actual violin in it, not a shotgun this time, I presume.
The shotgun's underneath the violin. Remember, I have it.
Oh,
yeah.
That's one hell of a case.
Sawed-off shotgun.
That's a large case.
That's quite a large case you have there, Mister.
It's the sawed-off shotgun. Remember, that's the one he's always carried around inside there. The sawed-off shotgun underneath the violin.
So, what I can tell you about Bethlehem Hospital, most commonly referred to by its nickname Bedlam, which is where the term Bedlam was adopted from. So it started off. I mean, it's had several different locations in history. Started off right by Bishopsgate in the city of London. It looks like. It was one of the very first hospitals to specialize in treating people who were considered mad or lunatic. Let's see here. Yeah, it started off as a religious order in the 13th century, a priory dedicated to St. Mary of Bethlehem. By 1400, it had become a medieval hospital, which didn't really imply medical care at the time, just simply a refuge for strangers in need. Over time, they began to specialize in caring for people who weren't just poor, but also incapable of caring for themselves, particularly the mad. By the 17th century, it was well known enough to appear in numerous Jacobean dramas and ballads. And it was, let's see here, often as in Shakespeare's plays Hamlet and Macbeth, it was used as a way to explore the popular question of who was mad, who was sane, and who had the power to decide. Blah, blah, blah. Just to see. So the second version of the hospital was in construction in 1676, unlike any asylum previously before seen, and that would be the same building I believe that it is in currently for the game. Yeah, it was for many years the only building which actually looked like a palace in London. Oh, I think I have an image as well. I'm pretty sure that I had saved one for such an occasion. I knew you guys would eventually end up in Bedlam. Yes, I do.
One way or another.
Let me try to make this. Oops. Come on, you bastard. Resize this on the fly. There we go, so I can pop it up.
Must be quite the place. People are losing their minds to get there.
Let me put this up top here where it can be seen. There you go. That's
Wow.
much what it would look like in the Victorian times. That's the same building that was built in 1676 for it.
It's much larger than I expected.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. one person has noted it was a part of an attempt to recreate London as something grand and modern instead of the old medieval timber warrens that that part of London consisted of before the fire. Often called a palace for lunatics. And around this time, of course, too, for the first time, private asylums were beginning to open up around the city. One such you visited recently, Ruben,
Mhm.
in I can't remember the name of the area it was in, but you know the one that you went to
Yes.
look into a little bit of history on your original victim in this case, Mr. What was his name? Mr.
Albie.
Bidwell.
Bidwell. Oh, Bidwell. Right.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, it looks quite grand on the outside. However, on the inside, the reality of the hospital is altogether different. Um, the ornate facade was so heavy that it immediately began to crack. Um, Whenever it rains, the walls run with water, and it rains quite a lot in London. Um, the hospital was
Cracked.
built on the rubble next to the city's old Roman wall, so it didn't even have a proper foundation. It was quite literally putting a pretty face on what many Londoners saw as a messy and distasteful problem. A weird, creaking, collapsing building from the very beginning, a contrast everyone picked up on at the time, as grand facade and how grim it was on the inside. So, I think that's enough, a little background on Bedlam for the meeting.
Indeed.
I pulled that off of a little article I just picked off real quick off the BBC. So, there you have it. I'll take that off the screen for the moment.
Ah, sanity check.
Yeah. Now, so you arrived first, Ruben, with accompanied by your colleagues,
Indeed.
August and Gerard.
Well, we will present ourselves to the most appropriate way of doing
I'm
so.
sure there must be some kind of a reception area, reception desk, and a clerk.
And he will have plenty of appropriate bribing.
A clerk, or who possibly is also dressed as an orderly,
Right.
Who most certainly dislikes their job and hates the
Sure.
environment they find themselves in.
Yeah. He'll have plenty of whatever the equivalent of 20s would be ready to go to slip to individual hands
Yeah,
to get where he needs to go.
Sure. A pound here, there, a crown, etc., whatever. Isn't a
Sure.
crown? A crown is 21 shillings, I think, whereas a pound is 20 shillings, something like that.
Before we go any further, did we have a name for the Chinese lady?
No. She claims to be Bill Baker, so she's just down for, I guess, whatever their Chinese version of Jane Doe would have been.
Did we want to give her it? Did we already decide on a name to call the wife?
Ask her husband.
Yeah, we skipped that, and he's not here. Can we retcon that, or are we just going to play it by hand and oops? We're going to oops it. We're going to call her Mrs. Baker.
Got a message here. You say you lost my image, Quentin?
Oh, it's okay. It came back pretty much straight as soon as
when you were doing the exchange part.
Got it. Cool. Okay. Sorry. So what do you want to call her?
Mrs. Baker. Her Chinese name is impronounceable.
Okay, so you arrive. The orderly kind of looks up, not happy to see you at all. Says, "Can I help you?"
My friend, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm here for Mr. Charles Baker. I believe his wife was brought in and considered to be a bit unstable. We're doing a preliminary check. He's coming to pick her up, and we want to make sure she's presentable. We know that you're laid down with
opens up a ledger. Continue.
With excessive madmen and madwomen, and we just want to do our part to get out of your way and not cause you any grief.
Mrs. Baker. I don't have a...
I believe it was a Chinese woman claiming to be...
She claims to be Bill Baker. Says
exactly.
She's a man.
She's a bit unstable, as it were.
Hmm. I don't have any record here of her pending release.
We don't know that it'll be done today, but the husband is en route as we speak now. That's why we're here to do the preliminary. So whatever we need to do, my friend, that's what we're here to do.
Okay.
Wherever we need to see, whatever we need to do.
She was brought in here under recommendation from Scotland Yard. I'll need the appropriate paperwork, proof of marriage and identity.
Of course. Is there anything we can do to get that started?
Do you have the paperwork?
Here, 1 second. Would it, I don't believe we have it. The husband, more than likely, the husband has it.
I see. Well, not
Yes,
much.
sir. I believe I have some paperwork handy, and I'll put down what's a suitably, I don't know, like a £5 note, something like that.
Something like that. Sure, no problem. He okay. Let's see here. What's your credit rating?
50.
Would you say 50? 50?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I see. He reaches up, takes the £5 off the desk, says, just give me a few minutes. I'll have a couple of orderlies down to check and make sure that the lady is presentable for you.
We do appreciate your time and effort, sir.
Whoa. Somebody just banged off their boom, I think, for their mic, yeah? My ears, my head. Sand check. Yeah, so he gets up and walks over. He gestures for you to sit down. There's like a little kind of seating area, waiting area right there in the reception. And he goes over, talks to to an orderly, actually, off to one side, who then goes down a hall. I'm trying to remember. I do believe, if I recall correctly, that one wing was specifically for female patients, and so I will assume that that's where he goes. I could be mixing that up with another asylum I did in another game, but that doesn't matter. It works for me.
That would make sense.
I apologize to anyone from Bethlehem Royal Hospital in the 1890s that may not agree with my improper depiction of their facility. So, after a few minutes, then the orderly comes back up to the desk, and the reception orderly gestures to you, says, "Gentlemen, your client's wife is ready to receive you. If you will follow this gentleman here, he will escort you down to her accommodation."
Again, thank you for your time and your consideration in this matter.
Mm-hmm. So they will lead you down a hall. It is quite disturbing. You have the cries and the shouts and various other gurglings and unpleasant sounds and smells of the insane. As said before, the the building itself is not very pleasant. It's all very damp and probably a good smell of mold and mildew in the air from all the water that runs down the walls, as was aforementioned. But yeah, he leads you down to a room eventually with a heavy lock. Big heavy key. He turns, unlocks the door, and pushes it open. Says, "I'll be right out here in case she gives you any trouble." He is not. He's not the largest man that you've ever seen by any means. He's but a mouse of a man next to Loyal Gibbs. However, he is probably a good half a foot and maybe 100 pounds larger than the largest of the four of you.
Perhaps some music to calm the situation, my friends, while I have a few words with the young lady.
Oh, right. Gerard has his.
What time of day is it? Afternoon, evening?
What's your appearance there, Gerard? It's the morning.
What do you mean my appearance? sorry.
Your appearance stat, your characteristic on
Oh.
your character sheet.
Okay,
Your
gotcha.
appearance. Sorry.
75.
Well, yes. Not here, but perhaps down in the common room where some of the inmates are having their breakfast. He gestures further down the hall.
Is there any chance you could walk him down there to assure his safety?
No, I have to stay here. If you want to wait for someone else to come by, you can. I understand your trepidation.
You could just close the door, sir, and lock it. I'll be perfectly fine.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I cannot lock the door while any guests are inside.
Very good.
Said his name.
Then I'm gonna give the
guy
high
we
sign.
did the chase with to save
can't.
Findle initially. Yeah.
So I'm supposed to go down.
Yeah, he
No,
gestures
he's
further
the
down the
guy.
hall.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down there, and then I'm going to accidentally trip, fall, or something that draws attention. The lady's already out.
No, she's
inside the room.
She's inside the room that he's standing by.
Okay. Wait, where's Ruben at? Is he close to the?
Yeah,
is there
I'm going.
wait,
I'm
He's
going in the
into
room.
the room.
You're going into the room. Okay.
Yeah.
When I kind of sense that he's, by hearing the door open behind me, I'm going to trip and fall. Make a good,
Distract the guard.
mess of things. Yeah, to distract the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do some fake,
Yeah, he rushes over to help you up.
Oh, my ankle. Oh.
What?
Ruben's
Thank
gonna.
God, it's not my hands. Oh.
Ruben's
At least I
gonna
can
rush
still play
in.
the violin. Oh.
Ruben's gonna rush in and say, "Officer, quiet. I'm Ruben Carmichael. I'm with Hudson and Brand.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Sorry, so who's got talking in the background?
I'm sorry, it was somebody here. They heard me do that, and they thought I was in pain in real life.
Oh, okay.
Came running in.
Sorry.
I know. I said it's called role playing.
Such acting.
Sorry, what were you saying, John? You said yes. He goes,
Both hands up in a calming manner. Quiet, just listen. I'm Ruben Carmichael with Hudson and Brand.
Yes. Master Carmichael, you have to get me out of
Quiet,
here.
quiet.
I'm not who they say I am. I'm not who I look like.
I know. Quiet. We have someone coming in to portray your husband to check you out of this asylum and get you away from this. You must play along. Just play along.
What about this? He reaches up and grabs his own tits. He says, "What are you gonna do about these?"
We'll deal with that once you're away from this insanity and the incoming grief that's going to fall upon you. Play along.
They gave me something. I don't know what it was. It was in a largest needle I've ever seen in my life.
When the next man comes in and we introduce him as your husband, just hug him and say, "Thank you. Please get me out of here." And then sob. Don't say another word, and we'll get you out of here. Are you clear?
Yes, of course.
All right, officer.
Why?
Stay calm.
Why are you doing this?
Because we believe you.
Oh, thank you. You can see the gratitude in his eyes.
Stay calm. And remember, when we introduce you as the wife of Charles Baker, you have a light bulb flash in your head and you rush and hug him and sob, and then we'll get you out of here as soon as we can. Don't say another word.
He just nods. So the orderly is checking your ankle. Gerard.
Oh, it's just tremendously.
It looks all right. I don't think you don't seem to have broken it or anything.
Oh, but I don't know if it's twisted. I try to give my little kind of, squeamish kind of, I don't know how to describe it without getting, kind of I don't know. Anyway, a helpless person, let's put it that way.
Sure.
So he grabs onto his shoulder to support himself. That way he can kind of, keep him delayed until we need to. Yeah, I expect Ruben to probably, once he's through, he'll be coming down the hallway anyway. So, oh, I don't know if I can go through with this music. I hope it doesn't disappoint them. But just the pain is just tremendous right now. Oh, can you help me to a chair somewhere, please?
I
Tell my
have
friend
to
to
watch
come out.
that door. He says, "Come here. I'll carry you over there."
Oh, just be careful. Don't
He
hurt
is.
my don't
He
don't
reaches
hurt my
down and
hands.
scoops you up like a child.
Oh, oh,
Carries you
boy,
over and
what a
kicks the
strong
door
man
open.
you
The
are.
door gets kicked open, Ruben and August, while you're in there. Bangs up against the wall, and this orderly comes in carrying Gerard.
Ruben puts his finger to his mouth. Quiet. Don't say anything.
Oh, my ankle. Ruben, my ankle. I hurt my ankle.
He sets
I
you
don't
down on
think
the
I
bed
can
beside the
walk in.
Chinese woman, like sitting, not laying
Gerard,
down.
what seems to have happened here?
Oh,
I must
Your friend
I
is a
must
klutz.
I must
oh,
tell you, Gerard, this is not the type of hospital you want to get ill in.
no, no, I'm not ill. It's just my ankle. I don't know. There was something in the floor, some crack in the floor, something that I tripped on, and I just went. Hopefully, it's not broken. Hopefully, it's just twisted. But
The orderly,
it's
hearing what August has
throbbing.
said,
It's throbbing.
the orderly looks at you, Ruben, and says, "Your friend is correct. You might want to take him to a proper hospital. I could get someone to see him here, but I don't think
Unless
he
it's
wants to spend the night."
No,
unless it's all in your mind, of course, Gerard.
these
I'll say
these two can leave while I wait for our client Charles Baker to show up.
He says, "Well, I can't leave with you, so you'll have to take him back yourself," he says to August.
Yeah, I'll help Gerard back to the reception room.
Okay. You can take your time since he's kind of all playing gimped up at the moment, like hobbled on one leg, basically.
I can kind of draw a little lip on it and really drag it out for you to stay.
And then we will await the arrival of Charles Baker.
So, Charles Baker, Belgrave, you arrive at Bedlam. There is a miserable-looking orderly sitting behind the reception desk. Says, "Good morning, sir. Visitation?"
Morning. I'm here to pick up my wife. That's a terrible accent, but I can't do a Cockney accent, so that's gonna be as good as it get, boys.
Ah, Mr. Baker, I presume.
That's my name. Where is she? I sent some folks ahead to make sure she wasn't all
He gestures
scabbed up.
to another orderly who's standing over on the other side of the room, to his left, your right. Says, "Will you escort Mr. Baker here to room 214 in the women's wing? He's here to collect his wife, the unnamed Chinese woman who claims to be a man." "Oh, yes, that one. Okay, yes, sir, sure. I'll be happy to escort you there, Mr. Baker."
Well, let's go. I don't got all day.
Yeah, he leads down. As you'll walk right almost into August, who's got Gerard, like up on one shoulder kind of thing, with one leg up in the air, kind of hobbling along.
What in the hell happened to you?
Oh, it's just tripped, and it's just a tremendous amount of pain.
Harper.
I kind of give him the wink eye a little bit,
No,
when I'm talking
no
to him.
way.
The pain, the pain is this intense.
Oh, Hush definitely has.
And I look at the orderly as I go away, and I say, "Oh boy, what part of London would be more posh? Like you would call someone from there posh at this time?"
Let's see. Posh London. areas.
Buckingham Palace.
Oh no, I don't mean like posh, like royalty.
I believe Soho is one.
There we go. As they go past, I turn to the guy and say, "Fucking Soho pansies."
Whoa.
All right. Well, where's she at?
High genteel neighborhoods: Baker Street, Gloucester Street.
Soho
Lane.
works.
Yeah. I don't see Soho mentioned for some reason in this particular area. I'm not sure why. Oh, there's Belgrave Square.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Excellent.
August is from Barton in the Beans.
Piccadilly.
Yeah.
Barton and the Beans. Is that what you said?
It sounds like some old detective show from the 70s. Barton and the Beans.
Sounds like something for breakfast.
It's a real place in England, but it'd be like a village, whatever. It's country estate.
I believe you. Very cool. All right. So the orderly will lead you down. You'll see another large orderly standing outside the door who kind of reaches and opens up the door, and you'll see inside there. You'll see the Chinese woman. Oh, and she would definitely be wearing a straitjacket. You see her there sitting on the bed with Reuben in the room.
Ah, Charles Baker. And he gives a wink to the Chinese lady.
Mr.
Good to see you,
Carmichael. So here you are, you daft bitch. What the hell are you up to this time?
Oh yes, darling. Please, you've got to get me out of here. They've given me some kind of drugs. I don't know what they were.
Got half a mind to leave you here this time, but I suppose Nad wouldn't appreciate that. All right, well, let's get her out of here. Get this shit off.
Reuben will help her up as well.
What is your appearance, Belgrave?
My appearance is not good.
Mm-hmm.
It is 45.
Do you have an appropriate social skill that you might wish to use?
Ugly.
I sure do. I've got a high intimidate.
Oh, excellent. How high is your intimidate?
It's 55.
Okay. Would you like to roll it for me?
I will indeed. Oh yeah, that is a 19.
Nice. Yeah, so the big beefy orderly comes in pulls his ring of keys out and goes to undo the jacket that she's wearing. Says, "Well, good luck to you. If you have any more problems with her, you can always bring her back."
Half a mind to. Well, we'll see what happens this time. Come on, let's go.
And with your substantial bribe to the receptionist and your intimidation of this here orderly, you can get her out. You can lead her straight on out to your carriage.
Fantastic.
I would assume that August and Gerard are waiting for you. I assume you guys didn't actually go to a hospital.
And as we leave, Reuben will say, continue the ruse until we're away from here. We don't want them to throw you back in.
Yeah, I put my how would I hold on to her? I suppose I'd grab her by the upper arm.
Okay.
Just kind of hold her close to me.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Walk out with an angry look on my face.
Officer, this is when we're away. Said, officer, this is my man Belgrave. We're going to get you away from here.
Once we're in the carriage, yeah, I say, my apologies, officer.
What about my body? What are we going to do about my body? I can't go around like this. How am I going to go home to my wife?
One step at a time, sir. One step at a time. Understandably, this is not a normal thing, but we have to take it.
Give me a psychology roll.
Ooh, I got a 38 in that, and a 52. Not just regular success.
Mm-hmm. He is extremely distressed.
Oh, 13. I got it.
And that's 1 point away from a hard success for you, isn't it?
Hold on. 13. It is 1 point from a hard success.
Do you want to spend 1 point to make it a hard success? to find something more than just distressed?
Yes. Let me
Okay.
mark that down.
Sure. Mark 1 point of luck off.
I got it.
And you will notice also that he does not appear to be a very sound mind either. You don't know if it's the condition, the spell or whatever has been worked on him. Maybe the
Who
drugs,
knows?
that he's been given, or
I
she
wouldn't. I
has been
wouldn't
given,
hold
whatever.
it. I wouldn't hold it against him either way.
No, I understand. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, there is a hint of madness in the eyes as well.
I'm sure. We will. We'll get you in a situation where you can actually get cleaned up for real, with real soap, clean water, some good food, and then we'll see what we can do about the rest of this.
Yes, old chap. Stiff upper lip. I'm sure everything will improve with time. And perhaps a brandy or 3.
Oh, thank you very much. That would be excellent. I really appreciate your help. I'm talking like a man. It's actually a woman's voice, just with
Sure.
a Cockney accent. Apologies. I keep forgetting that.
What's the matter, Ian? You can't pull off a personality swapped.
Yeah, I'm having a
Chinese
hard
voice?
time portraying a Chinese woman with the mind and personality of a Cockney police constable in Victorian London. I apologize.
Who's slowly slipping away to insanity.
I need to make my own sand check here. I succeed. Okay. So he, yeah. I don't really know how to refer. I'm going to keep saying he because, personality wise, she is
As
Bill
far
Baker.
as exactly, so there you go.
She just happens to be in a Chinese woman's body. He just happens to be in a Chinese woman's body. Yeah.
You can
So-
bow to political correctness and refer to them as they. About that.
No such thing in the 1890s. So, actually, there probably was such a thing as political correctness in the 1890s, for all I know. But yeah, who knows? Anyway,
Okay. So en route,
you're taking him to your offices, I presume.
correct. En route, Ruben's going to be mulling over his review of the catalog within the library, because he would have been on that right off the bat and had maintained a good idea of what was there. Would there be any tomes at all that he could go in the direction of looking up this sort of craziness, to include the book they just got?
Well, that had some spells in it about body swapping.
Oh, yes, it did, didn't it?
And
do you remember
also
what those were, Rob?
When I get back to the agency, August will pick I believe that psychic guy gave us a card, didn't he? A contact card.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime anybody who visits you always leaves a calling card.
So he kind of pulls that out of an ashtray where it's been. He probably ground out a cigar on it, and if he can pick out the information, he might send a runner to see if they can fetch the psychic.
When Albie swings by, he will have him or one of his crows take care of it, if not one of his underlings.
To go fetch Godfrey Williamson?
Yep.
Very well.
So I did read that book pretty extensively, and then gave Ruben notes on it.
You didn't read it extensively, but you did flip through it extensively, yes. And the spells included, just looking for it here now.
Swapping a female Chinese woman for a male Cockney cop.
Right, here it is. It included the spells. There was a couple of contact spells, which would be, contact elder thing, contact formless spawn of Tsathoggua. There's an identify spirit spell and imprison mind spell. Now,
someone's
got to
learn that.
Study those. How long does that take off top? Do I have my? No, I have to pull it out of the folder. Okay, cool. Of course I do.
2d6 days.
Is that right?
No, sorry, I was just
making things up.
referring to your Lamentations anecdote.
Oh, right. very different than magic in this game. In a lot of ways, worse.
Okay, so
I'm looking that up in the meantime.
Ruben is very much in his element as far as the subject matter, having his highest rating in occult. He doesn't have any practical knowledge as far as magic himself, but based upon his history and his occult knowledge, if he doesn't know the steps to take, perhaps he knows someone who might. Is that a reasonable stretch?
To what, cast a spell?
To better take the next step, not necessarily cast a spell, but hey, if something like this were to come up, this is the person I would contact if there was such a person to exist at all. Other than no, I mean, other than no, that's all I got, and I've already tried that.
Don't we already know such a person?
Such
A
as?
certain violin-playing young man?
Right.
Yeah, what's your cult, Ruben?
80.
Okay, yeah, you're 5 more than mine. I'm 75.
I didn't necessarily mean.
But
I didn't mean
Gerard has
reading
has learned spells before, so.
Exactly. I didn't mean necessarily reading this book and using it, but actually, they're as good with magic as you are with your violin. That's the direction.
You don't know anybody like that at all.
Oh God, no. Yeah.
How about as good about researching?
As far as like real magic goes, probably the person you know that knows the most about it is Gerard.
Hey, I think I'm going to contact Gerard about this.
You would know plenty of charlatans. And of course, there's people from the Golden Dawn, but like again, a lot of that's probably charlatanry as well.
Very good. And Gerard, you're up.
Now, I want to see how long.
There's also the option of, I don't know if you guys know, like an alienist or someone who might have,
yeah, no, that's a good idea. But let's if we
treating this guy's madness.
Right. So in this case, Ruben will assist Gerard, since he has the occult knowledge as well as some practical knowledge with magic, and hopefully can give him some sort of advantage with his assistance.
So, in order to learn it from the tome, you have to do an initial reading of that tome. Let me see how long that is meant to be for this particular book. It doesn't say. Okay, I will look it up in this other book then.
And you just reviewed the fact that you were doing it wrong before, so we can instill all the curses and everything you figured out. Great.
No, that was for Lamentations.
Oh, thank God.
Magic in Call of Cthulhu is much worse.
Well, that sucks to be the person doing the casting. Hey, Gerard, have a nice day.
Yeah. You better run. You might get evil Gerard.
I'm off to get some coffee.
Right. Okay, so books here. Yes, okay, this... Do they list this book is the question. The narcotic manuscripts. Next page. Yes, they do. Ooh. Okay, and how long would it take to do an initial reading? It would take 45 weeks to do a full reading of the book.
Jesus.
I mean, it's weird languages and stuff. You got to do translations and lots of cross-referencing and stuff. But using Mythos tomes, I want to see. Damn, why is it every time I change it, changes my zoom levels? Okay, using the tomes. Note about entries, key. Okay, study, etc. I want to see where it says about initial readings. This sounds a bit ridiculous. Say it'd take you 45 weeks just to learn what you need to learn from this book that's in the scenario.
So, what language was it in?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll tell you in a second here. It's in English. It's
Well, that's good. At least that's an obstacle then.
The original precursor volume was in classical Greek, but it was translated to English. This particular one.
So since he's already looked through the book, he would probably have a better idea of where to find in the book what we're looking for,
The
right?
spells, yes.
Yeah, so that would cut
Indeed.
some of the work down.
You did take a sanity hit, didn't you? Do you remember how many sanity points you lost for reading it?
I don't remember, honestly.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
There's probably no point in selling them in the first place.
Right. Describing, even though each book's summary. Fuck. God damn it. This is the problem with these 500-page tomes of rules. Let me see if I can do a quick Google search, because I'm not seeing it here in the thing about Mythos tomes. Maybe you do have to read it for 45 weeks. That seems a bit unfair. Mythos
I'm thinking he lost about 3 insanity the last when he did read that, because I think he was up to
That sounds
51 and he
about
went
right.
down.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the number was in my head was 3.
Mine too. So I think we're
Let's
on track.
see. Here's a.
What a coincidence! It was in mine as well. Side
It's a
eye,
magic
side eye.
number.
So that sounds like 9 to me. Okay, good. 9.
Are you sure it's not 27?
So after this,
How long does it take to read a Mythos tome?
Gerard may be ending up back at the sanitarium himself.
Let's see if it's actually written in this Reddit thread here. Yeah, it seems a weird thing. Hey guys, this is an awesome priceless treasure that has nothing to do with you can't use anyway because it takes 6 months to read. Right. Okay. As mentioned, non-active gaming time. Blah 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 blah. Work on them in downtime. I know there's got to be something. Motherfucker.
Yeah, it definitely says 45 weeks.
Oh,
But,
yeah, it definitely does. I want to know how long an initial reading takes. Talks about full study, but I'm not actually finding anything even on Google search for an initial reading.
He's already done the initial reading, hasn't he?
Yeah, technically.
Because
Okay.
that's your discretion, I think it says.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say, because I'm spending too much time on this already. So you've already done basically an initial reading. It would take you 45 weeks to do a full reading. If you want, I can go to the rules here regarding learning a spell, which is right here. Learning a spell from a Mythos tome. That's from an entity. This is from a book. Excuse me. Now, keeper indicates the presence of use spells and sense 2, right? Yeah, I know it recommends using different names for the spells, but I just use the textbook name for now because it just makes more sense as to what it actually does. You have to at least made an initial reading of the book. We're going to say you've already done that. You choose a spell to study. And I will just simply roll. Okay. It will take you 6 days to study the spell before you can make your first attempt. So to learn a spell, right, you do the reading. Then I've rolled here to say it's going to take you 6 days to study the spell, to try to learn it. You don't have to do those consecutively. You can, do a day here, a day there, whatever you want. And then there will be a roll to see if you, be an intelligence roll to see if you learn the actual spell. If you fail that roll, then you can either push the roll, which can have some pretty bad effects if you fail again, or you can try again in 2 weeks.
Sounds fair.
Okay, so you want to start studying it, or do you want to put it off for later? Like I said, it's going to take 6 days.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest I should go ahead and start studying, but it's up to the group. We're all a group here.
Sure. That sounds good.
Now, hold on. First of all, though, I can tell you at least in a couple sentences what each of these spells does before you start studying it. Obviously, contacting spells has something to do with contacting some otherworldly beings. Now, the other 2 spells in here, Identify Spirit, essentially, it'll create a powder which, when sprinkled over a human, exposes any alien entities inhabiting that person's body or mind. And Imprison Mind destroys an entity's ability, magical or natural, to switch minds or possess other beings that it's currently in. There you go. Just in case that.
Does one of it? Do we want to split the workload and like one person learns one spell, one person learns the other? With Gerard, is it an intelligence roll to learn the spell?
Yes, it is. Here they're saying actually, if the keeper desires, the investigator may be allowed to learn these spells at an accelerated rate for the purposes of the scenario. In this case, allow one investigator one chance to learn one of the spells at an intelligence times. It'd be a hard intelligence roll. The keeper may wish to incur penalties to their statistics and skills due to lack of food and rest during their study period. Subsequent attempts at learning a spell should be as per normal rules. Okay, there we go. So, if you want to try to learn one in one day, I'll say you can spend the entire day studying. You won't get a chance to make the roll until Thursday. Well, it's now like probably late morning. You'll be 24 hours pretty much of just intensive studying, no food, no rest, just working away at it. If you'd like, I'll give you that opportunity. But you can only do it once and only for one spell.
What do you guys think? Kind of confluence with me.
Sounds good.
Here.
Okay. So who's the smartest out of us?
Well,
I've got 55 intelligence.
I've got 55.
Ruben has an 80.
Ooh. Oh, Ruben, step right up. You got the best.
75.
Well, you two are the best candidates for success. So I got distracted there. We're still going to be required to do the hard int roll to learn them, Ian?
Yes.
What particular skills would come of use for this particular exercise? Library use?
Intelligence.
Just straight up intelligence.
Only. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're not using a library. You have the book. You just have to study the spell.
Fair enough.
And this is a one-off, basically, for the purposes of this scenario. Now, you also have to do an initial reading. So what I'll say is you won't be able to. You have to do an initial reading for several hours and then start studying the spell. So I'll say it'll be Thursday afternoon.
Oh, well, here's a question. Can we actually share use of the book? That's probably not going to be possible.
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Only one person, only one chance.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'd have to be sequential. So just one spell then, really?
Yep, that's it. Otherwise, and I apologize, I said 6 days earlier. It'd actually be 6 weeks. It's 2d6 weeks to study a spell from a tome.
Holy shit.
Per spell. Yeah, it's slow. It's magic. It's insane, and it's dangerous too. So,
I'm willing to take the chance. It's up to you guys, though. What you want to do?
Again, it sounds good to me. Do it.
Yeah, you might as well start. You got 6 weeks.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, he's got one
Yeah.
chance to do one in a day.
Okay.
It's an optional rule that's given in the scenario for the purposes of the scenario. If you'd like to learn one
Hmm.
of those two kind of new useful spells.
Well, as you're the only one that's done the initial reading, unless Ruben or Belgrave wants to do it, then you're the likely candidate.
I'd rather
It's-
not damn my eternal soul by reading such a terrible book.
It's only a
Gerard,
book, sir.
Gerard's all up for it. He's all into that kind of stuff. So
Cool. So it's going to be Gerard. So you guys get back to the office. Gerard will go in and start immediately studying. Um,
I am going to go and get a couple of suits from Mr. Van Zorn's room
okay.
and tailor them down so that our constable can wear them and not have to walk around in women's clothing.
Nice. Okay. Yep. He is going to jump at the opportunity to take a bath and to get a good meal and a few glasses of brandy. So, yep, no problem. Anything anybody else wants to do while this stuff is going on Wednesday?
Well, I'm awaiting either the arrival or a message from the psychic, hopefully.
Oh yes, of
Um,
course. That will probably come in the afternoon. Yep.
Yeah, because although August was very skeptical and trying to diminish his ability for various reasons, he knows that perhaps at least the name, if not the way he intuited the faceless figures in the background may have been meaningful. So he's very interested to see what he'll make of the constable.
I'm sorry. What did you say about the constable? Apologies. I was.
the Chinese woman.
Oh,
Chinese
right.
woman who's got the constable Baker within. And I think August will be just constantly quizzing Baker about things he thinks only a constable would know.
Sure.
Specific
Makes sense.
details. Just shy of harassment, probably.
Yeah. Well, he's determined to try to, or she, yeah, she is determined to try and prove his identity to you. And yeah, it answers all your questions correctly.
Amazing. If only I could get you up in front of the society. What
And
would
all this will
they
be going
make
on
of it?
while, occasionally Belgrave is taking measurements and stuff because he's got to fashion one of von Zorn's suits to fit a Chinese woman. But yeah.
Would like me to roll for that?
Yeah, sure. Give a roll on your tailoring skill.
That is not so high, but let's see.
Since you took the skill, we
Come
might as
on.
well use it.
Right? Is there a way to like take time on a skill to get a better chance?
That would be like basically like a bonus die or something, essentially. Yeah, I suppose so.
Like you're not in a combat situation, you're just working
Yeah,
diligently.
you got the tools. You got the tools that you require.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd say so. If you want to spend all day working on it.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure. I'm not
Pretty
going to
much.
rush it.
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus die.
Okay. So let's see here. Added on the first roll, 17 out of 25. So it's not
Yeah.
a beautiful. I mean, it's
You could tick mark the skill because you get to improve that at the end of the
excellent.
scenario.
Finally got to tick mark 2 skill that I really wanted to.
Mhm. And yeah, you get it fitted pretty nicely by the
By the evening.
by the evening anyway. But yeah,
Mhm.
Augie is doing his quizzing of the constable,
I'll come
Miss
walking
Mrs.
in
Baker.
with the suit, the clothes over my arm, and say, "Constable, if you would follow me."
Well, before evening comes, Godfrey Williamson will come in the afternoon.
Mm.
So we'll do that first.
Got it.
So around that time, I would say for sure August and Bill Baker, and Reuben, if he wishes, would be in the parlor. Probably
Now,
our man Markham as well.
yeah, as he sees the gentleman psychic arriving, he'll say to everyone, at least in the room, now no one give him any cues or any hints. I want to see what he makes of our constable. And I imagine the constable sitting there in like a kind of bathrobe / smoking jacket sort of thing. And yeah, I'll let the psychic in. What was his name again? Sorry,
Godfrey Williamson. Who sent the summons?
I did.
So, yeah, Mr. Breckenridge and Dunhampton, thank you for calling on me again. I'm very glad. I've been having a lot more visions.
Don't say.
He
Well,
looks
come
over.
in. Come in.
He looks at Markham and says, "Any chance of any of that brandy?" He also actually give me psychology roll, August, or anyone else who's present and wishes to.
Fail.
Who else is present? Reuben. Yeah, that's right. Gerard is working away. Or sorry, not Gerard. Belgrave. Yeah, Belgrave and Gerard are working away in their rooms on their own particular tasks. So, Reuben, do you want to make a psychology roll, or attempt to make a psychology roll?
I got a 36, which is not going to pass.
Okay, no worries.
It is psychology. Yeah, I did not make
He
it.
takes the glass of brandy from Markham after he pours it with a shaking hand and drinks it down quickly.
Well, are these visions something you'd like to get off your chest before we approach the matter we summoned you for?
It's those faceless men again. I keep seeing them, watching me.
How can they watch you if they have no face?
Some of them have faces, he says nervously. And he holds out his glass for a refill. Markham glances at you, Reuben, and
Yes, of course.
he pours it.
The
guy
I'll make sure he's not
drinks it
he's not
halfway
gonna
down
get,
again.
Yeah, I'll make sure he's not going to get too liquid, so it's a little bit.
It's only a glass and a half of brandy, so
yeah.
So far. Says, I have seen a couple of faces amongst them. John Bidwell was one. So was your Master von Zorn. I'm very sorry. I saw the news in the paper. They had blood on their hands, but the others were moving to shield them, as if to obscure them from my view. Do you know of any social clubs, perhaps, that Mr. von Zorn was involved in with John Bidwell?
Oh, perhaps there was the
Golden Dawn, was it? Was he a member of the Golden Dawn?
No, sir.
There
was a military.
Okay,
there was a
military.
There was a military club where I met von Zorn, actually. Perhaps Bidwell was a member there also.
I suppose that could explain the blood. Why are they watching me? I don't understand.
Well, after all, sir, and I'll lean in a little melodramatically, you are watching them also. But I would like you to meet someone who shall remain nameless for the time being, and perhaps silent. I would be very interested in your first impressions of this person seated to my right.
Right. That being Constable Baker, I would presume. Let's see here. Godfrey Williamson, renowned psychic. Okay, just checking out a few things on him. It's she's an immigrant, obviously. The eyes, though, there's something not right about her eyes.
Yes.
I'm afraid I do not know this woman, but I get the feeling that she is not who she presents herself to be. She's hiding something.
Uh-huh. I see. Anything more?
And you can see the expression on Baker's face is getting frustrated. He says, let me roll this and see. Okay. There's a hint of madness about her. Yes.
Oh, that's hardly polite.
I'm sorry, sir, but you asked for my honest opinion. He says, does she speak English? Yes, I speak English, you twit, she says. Oh, well, I'm sorry, madam. I mean no offense. That is just the impression I get, the feeling I get. That is all. I do not know her, should I?
Well, there is a particular incident that happened recently to this person. And I would, if she was to conjure that moment into her mind, do you think perhaps you could get some impressions? Were you to, kind of wave his hand, I don't know, lay your hands upon her head or some such as you do?
I could try, or I could perhaps read her cards.
Ah, yes. Excellent. Should she cut the deck then?
Yes, so he will pull out a set of tarot cards, and let's see here. What kind of reading will he do? Let's do this. Now what happens if I do these? Oh, it doesn't actually give me any kind of reading, does it? Damn, I was hoping for like a random tarot card reading generator. That would have been really handy. There is there's plenty of online tarot card readings, but maybe I can do this one. Will this help?
We can lean pretty heavily on his interpretation anyway, I guess.
Okay. Damn it. Okay, click to get your reading. So he lays out a Celtic cross, which is a 10-card formation. He says to her, there will be disappointment waiting for you as things will not turn out the way you expected. There will be no chance for you to progress at work. Your boss will not support you and will not like you very much. You should be careful of your financial expenses, and you will have a serious health problem. May require an operation to resolve. There will be an outstanding progress, something involving your work. You'll have a chance to get a new job or obtain a higher confidence, perhaps, from your current one. But you will have to work much harder. There is nothing you can do about that. You will gain more confidence in yourself and ignore the others and their opinions of you. Or perhaps you will be more self-centered and not willing to surrender to others. Either way, others may find you to be stubborn. If you would like to obtain mercy from your boss, you should be more submissive and concessive. You can see a look of frustration come across Baker's face. For love, you may feel tired of your current relationship, but you should be patient to maintain it. At which point Baker says, "What? But I love my wife." And Williamson just kind of raises an eyebrow. Says, you will face many problems, be in a very difficult situation, and you will find no way out of it. There is a high level of stress and pressure involved. You should be patient and not hot-tempered, as you will not be able to solve any problems at this time. It will be persistent. You may be blamed or criticized by your boss or other seniors at work. Unfortunately, there is nothing you can do to make progress, and you may need to resign your current job.
Yes, I could see how there might be problems there.
You tend to receive mercy and support from your seniors. You will feel that your lover is too complaining or fussy. You must remain calm. You will feel lonely, and you'll have to handle everything on your own. Besides, you will feel desolate because no one will understand you. You will receive advices for work and support from experienced persons, but they may not help you, as you still have to rely on yourself. Your financial situation will get better gradually if you think of your future and spend more carefully.
Well, that's quite a lot of advice.
You must be wary in love, because you may meet an older man who will flirt with you.
Well, this is all very good. I can't say it's really helping us.
I have
in our
4 more cards,
investigation.
sir. Please be patient.
Very well.
This is a good time to spend time with your family and your friends. If you have any conflicts with them, they will be resolved. You will have a chance to find new love in the future. You will worry about your finances, and you will have a cash flow issue that you have to solve. You must try to maintain balance. Perhaps exchange ideas with your colleagues. You should make a record and ensure you spend your money carefully. You will receive a present from a lover, perhaps the older man from the previous card. You may find yourself bored with life and get moody. If you're dealing with any documents, be careful. Any mistakes you make, you will have to redo again. Unfortunately, again, the outlook in your professional life is dire. There will be very little opportunity for you. And turns over the last card. And says, yes, for your lover, you may not have many chances. Patience is your only option. That is all I see from the cards. And Baker throws up his hands. So this was completely useless. What a waste of time. Why are we listening to this charlatan? To which Williamson looked, he clutches his pearls. Charlatan, sir.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
And Williamson says, I did not come all the way down here to be insulted. I will take your leave, gentlemen.
And we did not ask you to come down here to flip over cards. You say you have visions. Let us deal with that.
Yes, like I said, some kind of secret order or society or something
Yes.
working in the shadows.
Yes. Take this woman's hands in your own.
He does.
Now focus. Don't take us to be fools. We're not some collection of housewives to be entertained. If you have some sort of ability, now would be the time to pull it forth. What do you sense from this individual?
Conflict, aggression, anger.
That's
She
all of us.
contains
That's all of us in this room. Try again.
great strength for one of her stature. You can see like she's gripping his hands really tightly. Yes, I think she is confused. It's hard to say. Perhaps she is unhappy with her station as an immigrant woman.
What I am intrigued with, you say she is not what she appears, and perhaps there is some split or other. What I want you to reach for is some trace of a third entity within, perhaps an echo.
A third? Would think you would want to find a second first, would you not?
Very well, a second.
I don't know what you're looking for, but I can't just pull things out at command. It's what comes to me comes to me.
Very well, sir. Thank you kindly for your time.
Very well. He finishes his brandy.
Perhaps, what do you usually charge for this kind of thing?
Oh no, no charge at all. The brandy will suffice. I hope I was able to help.
Very well. Thank you.
I will let you know if anything else comes to me. And he nods and he walks
Yes,
out the door.
more faceless man. I'll usher.
And he leaves. I assume you kind of slam the door behind him.
Boulder Dash and Poppycock. Don't know why I troubled myself. I thought perhaps with the Duggan Duncan connection he had something, but nevertheless. And you yourself, my dear, Constable, you recall nothing of the moment in which you became, well, this?
And you see the constable is staring at a newspaper sitting on the table in the parlor. It was this afternoon edition, which none of you have really had the chance to look at yet. And her face is drained of color and her jaw is hanging, agape. And the headline says, "Murdered police constable's body pulled from Thames River." And it goes on to talk about the body of Constable Bill Baker, which was pulled this morning out of the Thames.
Oh, I see it. Quite unfortunate, but I'll lay a hand on her shoulder and say, it's not everyone that gets to attend their own funeral.
He
smooth.
begins weeping uncontrollably. Goes into hysterics.
Markham, please see to this, the constable.
Markham will kind of take her up and escort her out of the parlor. Yep. Dredgers have pulled the body of P.C. Baker from the Thames River. A coroner's inquest will be published in a few days.
And alas, the trail runs cold, gentlemen. What are we to do?
Well, it appears that we've taken on another house staff, perhaps a maid with a bit more experience than we expected.
Also with a cracked mind, losing her sanity.
I would suggest she starts learning Chinese.
I know, Gerard's not in there, but he does have a raise a zombie, so he can zombify her body back and then put her mind into that. I'm joking.
Gerard's in his room, up to his neck in the narcotic manuscripts, studying a spell. By the way, you'll have to tell me which one of those spells you're studying.
Whatever would have been the first one that I would have needed to use.
There was
Uh,
Imprison Mind, or that was the second one. Identify Spirit was the first one.
That's probably the
think-
first one. Yeah.
well, I
You're
think
only going to get
Imprisoned
one.
Mind Imprisoned Mind would be the most effective. We just might have to guess.
Well, if you can figure out, where the mind, where the
Yeah, because otherwise it just tells us that the spirit's in there, and it can.
you want to go with Imprison Mind?
What do you guys think?
Whatever they decide on, it doesn't really matter to me. Whichever one I think is best.
Yeah, Imprisoned Mind is the one that destroys the entity's ability to switch minds or possess other beings, or leave the body it is currently in.
That is how we will corner our quarry in their den, so to speak.
It only lasts for a matter of minutes, but yeah.
Time enough.
100 minus power divided by 5.
Well, we've got no way of knowing what body that this is.
At the moment.
Possibly we can. We've got
At
no
the
way of knowing where the spirit swapped from PC Baker. Really, it's going to be.
That's true. Maybe the spirit was in PC Baker's body, and in which case,
they all lived happily ever
it's,
after.
everything's finished. Yeah, it's all done.
Is there anything in there about the body being strangled?
No, it said a coroner's inquest will be revealed in a few days. But if you're going to read through the entire article, you'll see that they also found the body of 2 as yet unidentified younger Chinese men. So 3 bodies total were pulled out of the Thames this morning. The other 2 were seemingly dead for a longer period of time.
Interesting. Could have been the mob you called onto his trail. Or perhaps, who's your Chinese contact, the underworld figure?
No. He's not Chinese. He's
Chocho.
Chocho,
No nonsense, Namdak Yu Ying. Okay. Do you want to take a bio break?
Bio break.
We'll do that. Seems like a good opportunity. Oops. Don't knock my shit over. I'm going to have a little cake in honor of the memory of Wilhelm von Zorn. It was my wife's birthday, so I got some cake here. It is, what is it? It is Belgian chocolate and orange ganache. Does that mean anything to you, John? If you're around? Probably not. Seemingly not.
What kind of cake did you say you're eating, Ian?
Belgian chocolate and orange ganache.
It sounds interesting. I'm not much of a cake person, but there's a few that sound interesting. That does.
Yeah, me neither, really. I mean, I like some cakes. I'm not going to say I dislike cake. I'm not the kind of person who would normally pursue cake. But, like I said, it was my wife's birthday, so this is a cake that her friends from work gave her. None of us are really cake people. Not her, not me, nor my daughter, actually. But
Yeah, the only cake I
when
like
there is
the best.
cake, I'll eat it.
Cheesecake is my favorite cake, which is not really cake,
Oh,
but
I love cheesecake too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd always get for my
I
birthday.
love cheesecake. I love like a lemon cake, and it's not a cake, but I'm a big fan of key lime pie.
Are you big on chocolate?
Again, it's one of those things where I won't usually pursue it, but if it's in the house, I'll eat it. I mean, I don't dislike chocolate. I love chocolate like anybody else.
Yeah, my mom used to make a chocolate marshmallow cake, and that was really good. Really good. Very rich. So.
Yeah. What would be my favorite cake? Don't know that I really have one. I guess normally, like, as far as like if I'm buying a cake for the house, I would buy some lemon cake. Probably that's my thing.
You ever have a pudding cake? Where you have chocolate pudding kind of mixed with cake, and it
No.
kind of. I don't know if that was an OT recipe that they did or what.
We don't have pudding of that sort in this country anyway, so.
Was that pudding? What? I missed that.
Yeah, we don't have it here. Not that
pudding?
sort of pudding. Not the creamy like pudding that you have in America, We have lots of types of pudding, and none of them are like that.
You do, but they're just called custards.
Yeah, custard is the close, correct. But
I was telling you about my mom used to make a pudding cake, chocolate pudding with chocolate cake mix, together.
It sounds good.
We used to have that a lot.
Ooh, I always like
my favorite. I don't know if that was a real thing or something she just kind of made up, or
my favorite pudding
or...
from my days growing up in the United States was always pistachio. I bet you that would go good in a cake too. Like a good nut cake. No, maybe not.
Well, there is pistachio cake for sure.
I am about to eat some Belgian chocolate and orange ganache. So that's how we got to talking about cake.
You're just going to eat ganache by itself?
Well, I have a cup of coffee to go with it. Why? What are you supposed to eat it with?
Ganache is usually a coating. That's like saying you're eating icing.
No, this is a cake.
Oh. Gotcha.
Maybe it's Belgian chocolate and orange ganache cake. Maybe I forgot the word cake on the end. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not in the kitchen anymore, so I'm not looking at the label.
Is it ganache or grenache?
Ganache, G-A-N-A-C-H-E.
Yeah, ganache. Yeah, ganache is basically just cream and chocolate mixed together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the icing on this. That makes sense. The cake. Oh, and it's also got like layers of that inside as well. The cake is kind of like a layered, just white cake.
Very good.
Today was the Mrs. birthday, so she brought cake home from work.
Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a special. I just got a message when we started from a friend of mine, and she makes the best chocolate pie, and she'll put pieces of Oreo cookies in it, pieces of the Hershey bars, pieces of in
Damn,
it. Oh,
that
it is really good.
sounds indulgent and lovely.
It is. She's a very good cook, at least on desserts. I haven't tried any of her other, foods yet, but the desserts, yeah. And I told her how much I liked it the last time she brought some over. Still, she messaged me today. She's gonna bring some over tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
But
It beats the heck out of Crunch bars and Hershey bars and that kind of stuff.
I'm here.
Welcome.
I wasn't sure if I said I was ready yet or not.
I'm just looking at the results of the UFC so far. The prelims.
oh, don't say anything. I didn't look yet.
All I will say is there have been 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 6 fights so far, and only one of them that didn't go to a decision.
Ugh.
Sounds like it could be a little dull. Not necessarily. Not all decision fights are dull, but
Yeah, it was pretty much called from the beginning. It was going to be a lackluster card.
So
at
we're
least until the
gonna.
main event. Yeah. Are we gonna what?
Are we gonna downtime?
Well,
some
I mean,
stuff now?
we can definitely fast forward a little bit to until either the next event happens or um, Gerard gets to make his roll.
Yeah, because I can't really think of too many. I mean, there's the guest list. I guess we could sort of maybe keep some people from the guest list under observation. I can't really think of any other leads. Are there any other leads we've not pursued?
We could investigate this clandestine organization.
Ha. You believe anything that man says?
I believe that he likes brandy.
Hmm.
I have a non-character question.
That's okay.
We
We
ever
haven't started
find
back
out?
yet anyway, but go ahead.
Okay, did we find out if so if that spirit inhabits or pushes the man into that the Chinese or the Asian woman, what happens to her? Where does it? Do we know what happens to the personality that's inhabiting the body originally?
Perhaps.
Does she cohabit it? So if we got rid of the inspector or whatever he was, constable, and would the Asian woman return?
Well, that was sort of what I was trying to get the psychic to like figure out if we'll get a reading if there's any other, whether it was a vestige of the possessing spirit or the Chinese woman is suppressed, but it seems to kind of kick them out in a line, I guess. I doubt whether it goes back far beyond just that exchange. So I imagine she's just been.
Or perhaps whenever the spirit jumped from his body to for the Chinese woman to his body. I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say now. Sorry.
No, I know what you're saying. Like, the spirit was in the Chinese lady's body, and then because it shifted to the policeman, it swapped. But yeah, what happened prior to that? If they, for example, if the body it just inhabited is killed, like Zorn or whatever, then there's nowhere for that spirit to go. You know what I mean? It has to.
Yeah. Maybe it goes back to where they came from.
Breaks the chain. I don't know. They end up in limbo or something. Maybe the book will tell you. There's also the asylum, where Bidwell stayed for a bit. I don't know what we could find out there, but if we've got 6 weeks.
Well, you don't have 6 weeks yet, because this first spell.
Oh, this is one day, is it?
Yeah, the first one. It's like a one-off, you know. And I'll get to that here in a moment. I'm just finishing off this cake before I start put my camera back on.
Eating cake in honor of Zorn.
Indeed.
Any news from our? I mean, any?
No.
Nothing. Okay. Just
I suspect there won't be.
Right now, yeah, I'm sure that's going to be the case. Yeah.
It's already been a couple months, so.
The clandestine organization got wind of him portraying something and resolved it.
Perhaps. All right. Wherever he may be, I hope he is well. And I just wonder why he never contacted me in the last couple months, but yeah. Regardless, life goes on, at least for everyone except for Wilhelm von Zorn.
Indeed.
So, we'll do a little bit of, like you said, you don't have any other leads to follow up on, so we'll go forward a little bit in time. Not as far forward, though, as perhaps you think, because let me get to the correct page here. Yes, a little after 5 p.m., after dark, there is a ring at the bell. And Markham will answer the door, and it is a messenger who hands him a message. And he brings the message in to you. Probably to you, Ruben, since you
and
are
it
the
says?
Senior member. It is from Inspector Cleveland. It says, I wish you to meet me in the Limehouse Basin of the Regent's Canal. We found another body here at Lynott Wharf. Please come immediately. Signed, Inspector Cleveland.
Well, I suspect that anyone that's available to go should go.
Okay, so who would that be? Basically everybody except for Gerard.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless he wants to take a break, if that's even possible.
Of course it is. Like I said, you can take a break, and it just pushes the time back a little bit for completion is all. Do you want him to come with you or not?
Completely up to him, depending on his cycle for the learning.
I'll leave it up to you guys. I mean, if you think that's a good idea, I will. If not, I'll stay.
He won't even know about it unless you tell him. So.
Right.
Well, then I will tell him and ask him what he wants to do. If he would like to join us, then do so. And if not, then good studying.
So how close am I to getting this, like really getting what I'm reading and feeling prepared?
Oh, you're not even halfway. I mean, you've only been working on it for like maybe.
I'm sure if you knew how much
6 or 7 hours.
You would.
Okay.
So you've got at least another 17 hours to go.
I probably better stay here and just work on that, I guess. For the good of the group.
Very well. So we are off.
Okay. So we will have.
Before we leave, we will have Markham keep a special eye on our guest.
Gerard stays behind. I'll just pop him off there for a second. So it is Reuben, Belgrave, and August going to line at wharf. So there is a light fog which has settled over the city, as often does. Once you get to the to Limehouse and are heading towards Line at Wharf itself, it's quite bathed in fog. Line at Wharf is a rickety wooden dock that leads out over the basin. So you walk out onto the wharf itself, and I would like idea rolls from the three of you.
All right. No, I failed that. I
Success.
rolled a 92.
I got a 57
Ruben has a
and
success.
that is
Yeah, I got
definitely
like a
success. It's
Idea
a
roll
regular
is your
success.
intelligence, yeah.
Regular success.
August?
Hard success.
Okay, cool. So August and Ruben both kind of have the thought that you don't see any sign of police activity. And as you kind of walk out on the wharf, you don't see anyone here.
Careful, gentlemen. I smell a trap.
Yeah, I think I'll unclip my holster from my Webley.
And several figures step out of the fog behind you, standing between you and the shore. 12 men in total, holding knives, swords, cleavers, staves. One guy's got nunchucks.
Yes. Celestials.
So these various weapons clatter and swish as they step out onto the dock behind you. Well, now no longer behind you because I assume you all turn around. But yes.
Are they moving toward with intent?
They are
Or are
indeed.
they just never bring a knife to a gunfight?
One of them
shouts
shouts something out in Chinese, and they all charge. Now,
Oh,
holy shit.
let's see. For initiative purposes, here we have. No, he is not here anymore. He is deceased. We can scratch him off. So we have Reuben Carmichael has probably the highest dexterity, 85. August isn't bad either at 75. And Clarence is at 50.
I have a pistol, though.
You do have a pistol. Good. You might want to draw that.
Oh, yeah. I was drawing it already. I didn't get a chance to speak before
Okay.
you were describing.
I'm fine with that. That's fine. You want to say you were drawing it? You may do so. What do these guys have for initiative? Oh, that one has an 85. Otherwise, the next highest is there's a 70. Is that? Yeah, 70. 65, 65. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so okay. So as they charge forward, and you guys have your weapons getting ready, gunshots ring out behind them, and you see a brown-suited figure just kind of step forward out of the the fog, not out of the fog, but he's stepping into view. A scarf over his lower face, a revolver in each hand. And two of these thugs drop immediately. And now we will go into proper combat initiatives. You see, let's see here. So that would leave that many. There are how many of you? Right. So 10 people, or 10 thugs, 4 targets. So 2 people will have 3 thugs coming towards them each. So I'll roll randomly to determine who those are. One of which is
Uh,
the cloak,
Two
the
were
scarf-covered
killed,
figure
though.
behind you. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
well,
there
it
were
went from
12 to
12 to
begin
10.
with.
Gotcha.
And the other one is August. So August and the other figure behind each have 3 of these thugs charging them, and Reuben and Belgrave would have 2 each. So, looking at
What
the
was the damage for the special guns that freaking Zorn had made up for everybody?
I don't know. Does anybody have those stats?
1d10 plus 1.
That's what I thought.
What
All
kind
right.
of pistol was
20-foot
it?
range. It's a revolver. Six shot.
1d10 plus 1?
1d10 plus 1, 1 to 3 attacks, no malfunction, 6 ammo.
So here's what I'll do. Do you all have guns drawn?
Yes.
Yes.
None of these thugs have guns, so I will let you guys each do your attacks first. So we'll go in initiative order. Reuben, you may go first.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go first.
Yeah. Please do.
I am rolling as the 39, and survey says, boom, boom, boom. He has a 45. So a regular hit. A regular
One
success.
of the men who's charging you, I presume?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just looking for a D12 here. The Call of Cthulhu set doesn't have D12s because they say, oh, Call of Cthulhu doesn't use D12s. It fucking should, damn it. And it does in some third-party materials. Okay, so you fire at this first guy coming towards you. He's the guy with the nunchucks. Okay, what was your damage?
7 plus 1, 8 total.
Ooh. Yeah, that drops him. You shoot him right in the chest, and he freaking falls back and drops his nunchucks on the dock. The other thug is still coming towards you. Next, we'll go next initiative would be August. Anyway, August, you may take your shot. You have 3 of these thugs charging towards you. They have, let me see here,
Okay.
weapon-wise. One is using a machete, another one a cleaver. Oh, and there's 3 of them. And the other has a sword. Machete, cleaver, and sword.
Jesus.
You got the blade
We'll
gang.
take out the sword first, I guess. I'm gonna wait till they enter my point blank range. Which I
Yeah,
think is,
it won't be hard because they're charging you to attack you this round anyway. So.
which will give me a bonus die, but then I'll take
Correct.
3 shots, which gives me a penalty die. So just straight rolls.
Right. Yeah.
07 on the first one. Which I don't know.
Damage. Oh, that's
that's the attack roll.
Yeah.
Which is
extreme
impale
success?
just
an extreme success?
Yeah, it's extreme success.
He dies. You shoot him right in the face.
The second one is a miss.
His
72.
machete falls to the ground. The second one you miss, and the third one. You're firing one at each guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Sword guy.
That's 28. So that's just a hard success. Doesn't mean anything. I don't think.
Just
Does
normal
it?
damage.
Okay. So 2 points. Grazing shots.
1, 2, 3. Oh wow, that guy had. Oh no, that's education. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's still up. So you wound him for 2 points.
Okay.
Scrap paper. I don't have any weight for it, so I'll use this here. Yes, I can use this. So we got Reuben.
Hurl an
Has
insult. You
killed
might do
one
an extra
thug
point of
and
damage.
injured the other. August has 3. He dropped the first one and 2 hit points damage to the third one. No damage to the second one. Next is going to be Belgrave. Belgrave, it's your turn. You have 2 of them also coming towards you.
All right, I'll fire 3 shots.
One is carrying a staff and the other one a knife.
I will shoot the guy with the knife first.
Okay.
I'm going to do 3 shots. Is there a penalty die for that, or you just...
There is a penalty die for that, but if you're going to wait for them to get into your point blank range, which is equal to 1/5 of your dexterity, you may do so. It's
1/5 of dexterity is point blank.
Yep, in feet, I believe.
So that's 10 feet.
Yeah, you can do that anyway because they're charging you to attack you. So
okay,
it's just you have the gun in your hand, so you get an extra plus 50 to your initiative essentially.
Right.
So.
All right, so I'll wait until they're at range, and it's just a regular roll, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
your
first roll.
bonus die for point blank range nullifies the penalty die for multiple shots.
That is a miss. Second, at the regular hit for
Knife guy.
Knife guy for 10 points. Rolled a 9.
10
plus
points.
1.
Yeah, he's gone.
And then last guy.
Staff
the
guy is the one that's still standing against you.
That is an 18, not an extreme, but that's still a hit. For 7 points.
7 points. Let me roll his constitution. He drops as well. He's taken out.
Excellent.
So you drop both of the guys that were coming towards you, Belgrave. The
Awesome.
second guy, the staff guy, just kind of falls just as he was about to swing on you. He falls almost at your feet. And our other masked, your masked friend, I guess, fires. Where's his? Okay, he misses his first shot. He hits the second shot. Oh, that takes that guy out. I'll put him over here. I'll write his name down and not say it out loud. Because why would I want to give it away? Okay. And then it's the bad guy's turn. So, Ruben, you still have one guy standing against you, and this guy is a knife guy. Because you shot the nunchuck guy. He goes to stab you with the knife. Are you fighting back or dodging?
I will. Well, he doesn't have his sword drawn. If he mechanically fights back, he'll dodge.
Okay. Roll.
You are not the boss of me. 1 second.
I am the boss of you. Okay, no, he hits.
18. Fantastic.
Okay,
Hold
you
on.
dodge as slashes at you with
Okay.
his knife. That's a success, right?
I'm looking for his dodge right now. His dodge is 45, so
Yep.
he got a hard success.
Yep, you easily duck as he swings the knife over your head. You duck under it. August, you still have two standing against you. Bloke with the cleaver takes a swing. Will you dodge or fight back?
Dodge.
Dodge, please roll.
Hard success.
All right, you dodge because I got a normal success. You dodged his cleaver attack. The other one, since it's the second person to attack you this round, has a bonus die to his attack. And this is the bloke with the sword.
I killed the guy with the sword.
Oh, sorry, that is the guy with the machete.
Yeah, that's much
dodge
better.
or fight back.
I get to dodge again. Dodge, I think. Yeah, dodge. But that's a fail. That's like 97. So,
Okay.
67. Sorry.
67 is a fail. Did you want to spend luck to make it a success, or do you just want to accept the machete blow? Entirely your choice.
Sure. Better to be.
Never die with luck.
You spend luck. How much luck do you need to spend?
7 points.
Okay,
For a
just
normal
reduce your luck by
success.
7. And then in that case, you do dodge the machete attack. Okay, and we go to. Oh, I'll take care of the other guy. Yeah. Okay, we go to top of the order next round. Ruben, you are first.
Point blank shot with the pistol.
Okay, you're gonna have a penalty die now because you're in melee combat. Trying to shoot somebody who's standing on top of you, swinging a knife at you, that kind of way.
Well,
then again, would that just work out to a balance because you'd normally have a penalty die, a bonus die for being so close? Yeah.
So straight up roll, you say?
Yeah, we'll just call it straight roll.
Straight up roll. Stand by.
But since you are within reach, I would say he can roll a fight back, which he'll try to do.
Now, to draw the sword would be an action and then have to attack next round, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be what, dropping your pistol, drawing the sword?
It's a one-handed sword. I don't know that he could. Well, yeah, sure. That's what he would do.
Or
But in this
switching the pistol to
case,
the other hand, drawing the sword, whatever you want to say. Yeah, yeah, I would take.
So this sword cane or?
yeah, it's a sword
What is
cane.
it?
No, 27. So it's just a regular success. He would need 5 to make it a hard success.
Okay. Then you hit him. Give me damage.
Stand by. 4 plus 1 is 5.
4 plus 1 is 5. I will roll his constitution. Oh, he goes down. Which brings us to August. A machete guy and a cleaver guy. Machete
Right.
guy.
So if I do 3 shots.
Machete guy was like that close to you last. You take 3
Yeah.
shots. Okay, so all your shots will be with a penalty die, please.
No, I'm weighing that one up because then they'll all be with a penalty die, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do a single shot against the guy that's wounded.
Okay, so just a regular straight up roll.
46, which is just a normal success.
But you are melee range, so he can fight back. Cleaver guy is the one who's wounded. You got a normal success. He also got a normal success. So since he was fighting back, you win. Damage.
6 points.
6 points. Okay, that's going to call for a Constitution roll, and he goes down.
Nice.
Unconscious
Getting
and
there.
bleeding. And Belgrave.
Okay, now I've dealt with both of my guys. How many does Ruben have on him, and how many does August have on him?
August has 1 on him. The unnamed masked man further back on the shore has 2 on him, and that's it.
Ruben's dealt with his.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so since the staff man fell right on top of me, can I scoop up the staff and charge the guy with it that's fighting August?
Yeah, I'll give you a penalty die for the attack.
That's fine. I don't have a great
Basically
brawl
just
anyways.
Kicking the weapon up, and
I don't want to fire at them because I don't want to accidentally hit August.
I understand.
So,
Jam
you
it
know
up.
what? I won't even bother with the staff. I'll just charge him, try and tackle the guy.
Okay, gonna try to grapple him. Go for it. So roll a brawl.
Okay.
He will fight back. Ooh,
Oh, yeah, no. I rolled 66.
I have
That's
an
a fail.
extreme success.
Yeah, I failed.
So you charge. He turns, seeing you coming, swings the cleaver, slashes you right across the face, Belgrave.
Awesome.
Or does he have a damage bonus? Which guy is this? This is
Scars
guy,
give us
butcher
character.
Guy, machete guy, cleaver guy. He does not have a bonus, so he does 6 points of damage. Is that half or more of your hit points?
I have 12 hit points.
So that's a major wound, and requires a Constitution roll to maintain consciousness. How do you want to call the major wound?
All right, well,
It doesn't necessarily have to be in the face if you think of something better.
no, that makes sense because that's what I was leading with.
Groin.
Yeah, so he yoinks my willy off. No. Let's see. So the cleaver connects with like the temple.
Okay.
And on the right side, cuts through the right eye and into the nose.
Ooh.
Just shunk.
Ooh.
So he's gonna have a nasty scar there. Maybe he'll be
Through
blind
the
in
eye,
that
you
eye.
say?
I don't know. Do I want to have him be permanently blind in one eye?
You don't have to necessarily. It could just be a horrible scar.
Yeah, no. It because of his bone structure, it doesn't take out the eye, but there's a nasty cut right through there, and
Yep.
So he's gonna have
Roll
a hatchet
your
face.
Constitution to see if you fall into shock, essentially.
Yeah, no, I pass out. I rolled a 64. I only got 45 con.
You drop to the ground. You may not be completely unconscious, but yeah, you're basically in shock, and you're afraid you might have just lost your eye, and you're just kind of you're out of the fight. Okay, and let's see. So that guy gets his normal attack then against August. Are you fighting back or dodging, August?
Dodging probably.
Okay, go ahead
Seems
and roll your
wise
dodge,
at this
please.
point. Hard success.
Okay, you dodge because I got a normal
22.
success. No problem. You dodge his attack. See here. Let me see. What does that call? What's the difficulty on this? those who are still in the fight, Ruben and August. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I will need a where is it here? Ah, spot hidden rolls. Anyway, I'm just looking for the difficulty of a success. Required. I think that's a spot hidden roll, isn't it? Maybe it's not required.
Did you Ruben for spot hidden?
Oh yes, it is. It is a spot hidden check. Hard spot hidden.
No,
just-
he got a 93.
Okay, Ruben doesn't know. He's too concerned maybe with
I just got
Belgrave,
a-
who's just gone down with a slash to the face, bleeding profusely.
Normal success.
Normal success. Okay. Do you want to spend luck to make it a hard, or just go with normal?
No.
It's not like a vital thing. You just will see that the masked gunman who had shown up to help you flees, and the other two guys that were fighting him turn towards Ruben and August. So we go back to top of the order. Ruben.
There's
Your
only one guy.
masked
He's a
compatriot has fled. Belgrave has been dropped. There's one guy fighting August and two other guys who are approaching. You don't know who they'll attack yet, either you or August.
Well, then he will fire.
And those guys are armed with a machete and a cleaver.
He got a 44, so it is just one shy of his basic. So a 45.
Guess who?
So whichever one is closest to my compatriot.
Okay, the one that's in melee with August.
And there were two approaching otherwise, right?
Correct.
Sure, the one with August.
Okay, roll a penalty die, please.
Okay, stand by. Let me get back over here. Let me change this to a 10.
Oh wait, did you only roll one die though before? Because you'd be in point blank range. No, it'll be fine because the penalty die will counteract your. You didn't roll with
Okay.
bonus die before, did you?
No, I
Okay.
did not.
So it counts. Damage, please.
Alrighty, that is a 6 plus 1 is 7.
He drops, and the other two guys, realizing they're the last two left, turn and flee into the fog, cursing in Chinese.
I speak Chinese.
Yeah, they say,
Ruben speaks Chinese.
"Holy shit! There's only two of us left. Run!" And they run.
And he will holler back in Chinese, "Wait, brother, there's more of us. Come back."
They run.
Can I shoot one?
Yeah, I'm gonna call that. Let's see, they're not in point blank range, and I'm gonna give you a penalty die because they're in thick fog.
What a shame. So 04 on the first one.
Ah.
24. 24.
It's still hit, right? Give me damage.
10 points.
Boom. Oh! You hear a body
So
hit the
just-
ground.
I'll just sighting along the Webley. His arm extended. He just kind of tracks him for a moment and then squeezes the last.
Yeah, just
bullet.
as he disappears in the fog, you fire into the fog, and you hear a cry in pain and the sound of a body hitting the ground.
Belgrave. I think he'll whip off Belgrave's cravat and see if he can't first aid his injury with his.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a first
his
aid.
neckerchief. 43. I don't even know if I have first aid actually. Let's have a look.
Everybody has a base, I think, of 30 at least, but
where is it? It's not under first aid. Oh yes, it is. Hang on. 40. So I'll use 3 luck to stabilize him.
cool. Yeah, you'll be able to stabilize him, bring him out of his shock, and wrap his face to kind of, he's got like the half of his head wrapped kind of thing, covering one eye. And you can get 1 hit point back for that.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent.
And you guys are sitting with the bodies all around you, and you hear police whistles blowing, and you see police inspectors coming out onto the dock. Police constables. Drop your weapons! And they draw pistols.
Constables, it's Hudson and Brand.
I said drop it!
They're dropped.
Okay.
Put the police down, the pistols down, and put my hands in the air. We have a man injured here. We were attacked by these hooligans.
Celestials.
You'll have to come with us for questioning. We'll make sure he's attended to.
Very well then.
And they take you to the local Scotland Yard anyway.
Did any of the so some of them that were knocked down just with con rolls might still survive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There'd be a few of them that survived for sure. I think there was at least probably 4 of them that were just wounded and knocked out.
So Inspector Martin Cleveland is with Scotland Yard, correct?
He is, yes.
Then we will, en route, we will say, well, while we're going there, why don't we communicate with Inspector Cleveland? He will clear this all up.
Well, you can talk to him at the yard.
Very well.
Do you?
They would search your purses and take any other weapons off you and take your guns.
I'll whisper to Reuben and ask him, do you still have the note that summoned us to the dock?
Indeed.
Yeah. So that might be interesting to examine.
You'll spend about an hour, or maybe a couple hours have passed really by the time you get there and get questioned. Belgrave will be attended to at a nearby, well, no, they probably attend to right there at the yard. They bring a doctor in. So they're in the process of stitching up your face, Belgrave. Yeesh.
Fun.
What's your appearance currently?
Oh, it was only 45.
45? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, make it a 35 now.
Really?
It's a
awesome.
nasty scar. Big, right across your temple and a good chunk of your nose, you know?
Might help with intimidate, though.
Maybe.
Inspector Cleveland will arrive then, after a couple hours. Having been roused and brought back to work from home, he comes into the room where probably by that point in time you're all 3 in the room together. Like it's a holding cell essentially. They don't have you under lock and key or anything. They just have guards nearby. They will have questioned you. I'm sure you told anything particular you would tell your story. Or you just tell them the truth.
The truth.
Okay, cool. So when Inspector Cleveland arrives, he'll be holding the note and say, well, Mr. Carmichael Brand, we meet again. Seems you have fallen for some kind of a ruse.
Yes, we thought we were doing the right thing and answering a call for police, and we got caught up in this trap. But if asked to show up again for the police, we will do it again, as is our duty.
Well, I would lecture you on the consequences of meddling in a police investigation, but, well, I suppose that is simply the nature of your business. Occupational hazard?
Indeed.
Very well. Well, there's no charges against you. We've arrested the few thugs that you did not kill at the docks. Of course, it was all obviously self-defense. You were outnumbered 4 to 1, it would seem. From the description that you gave. Oh, by the way, did you mention the masked figure in your story?
Told the truth, so I would say yes, we told the truth. I
still have no idea who
Reuben.
this mysteriously masked individual was who showed up to your aid.
No, we will imply our inquiry skill and see if we can find it in the near future, unless you would rather us not look for him.
Well, I will not tell you what to do in your business. It would seem, whoever he was a good Samaritan of a sort.
With a mask, no less.
Indeed.
And sounds like a figure from a storybook, firing a revolver from each hand.
Yes, a penny dreadful, as it were.
Probably an American, I'd say.
Lamont Cranston.
And how's your man? He says, looking over at Belgrave.
Stiff upper lip, man.
That's going to leave a horrible scar.
Scars are but stories left to be told.
Doctor tells me he's able to keep the eye, at least.
Well, that's good.
Suppose it could have been worse.
Yes. Now, good sir, these kind of rabble, this gang that beset us, very rarely acts of their own accord. Is there perchance you recognized some of the members?
Is there any chance I would be able to speak to them as I do speak the language, sir?
I suppose it could be arranged. I don't see why not. Yes. We've identified at least a couple of them as belonging to a recently surging gang in the Limehouse area known as the Sifan. Are you familiar with them?
Inspector, I have heard of these Sifan, and in fact, rumor be told that Sifan is actually Chu.
Yes, I've heard that as well. Distressing that they be operating in our city.
Indeed. Much like rats to be taken out.
They're now part of a 2, possibly even 3-way gang war going on in Limehouse.
If I may press further, good sir, these two bodies that were pulled out with the body of P.C. Baker from the river, were they perhaps members of this gang also?
No, they were not. However, we were able to identify them with the help of the gentleman we arrested the previous night, Li Tsao. Oh, sorry, 2 nights ago. You remember him, Reuben, do you not?
Indeed.
Their necks were indeed snapped, broken completely. So it would seem that the tale he tells has at least some truth to it. I'm still not convinced that it was your man von Zorn who did the killing, but I guess we'll never really know.
Oh, I see. Oh, right. Okay, of course. Yeah, they were the bodies that were disposed of before the warehouse. Okay.
I'm sorry, yeah, I do find it hard to believe that it was von Zorn. He was good with a pistol and a cavalry saber, but with his hands, the man could beat up a cake, and that was about it.
Well, there are ways, certain leverages and martial arts and throws and such, as you call them, I think, that could break a man's neck. Not 2 at the same time, I imagine, but we have no way of knowing how the injuries were exactly sustained.
Agreed.
Perhaps, given enough time and the right bit of luck, von Zorn could have potentially broken both of their necks. Not at the same time, again, like I said, but it just doesn't seem to fit the man's personality. I don't see any reason why we should suspect him of such a thing. Aside from the fact that his body was found in the neighborhood nearby the next day.
His own neck broken.
I think it's a matter of coincidence, the appearance being so similar. His neck wasn't broken, he was strangled.
Yeah, but a few, it had been sort of crushed with the force, I think.
Well, that's true, yeah. There was some crushing to the bones, indeed. But these were like clean breaks, clean, you know. But yeah, maybe could be the same individual. In which case, I suppose they are still at large.
Well, is my compatriot here able to interview the surviving Celestials? He has some grasp of their language.
Indeed.
If you like, come with me. You want
And
one at
we'll
a time, or do you want all four at the same time?
Yeah, we'll do one at a time if that's not inconvenient for you, Inspector.
I can have my men tenderize him first, if you like.
Completely up to you, sir.
Very well. Come along. So I'll take you down to a holding area. Put you into a cell. Close the door, but not lock it. And then a few minutes later, they'll bring in one of these Chinese thugs that you will see from the dock.
All right, sir. In Chinese. Who sent you to the docks?
He says nothing.
You do realize this is your one and only chance to get out of here alive. We only seek information, and then you can walk away.
He's looking at you. And he says in a croaked voice,
Speak up, boy.
I really can't. He tries to lean closer to you.
Yeah, he's not going to fall for that. Write it down.
Yes,
And he
I
slides
can.
him. No, he's not going to fall for that.
You slide him a piece of paper and a quill and ink.
Mm-hmm.
He goes like this.
What does he do? I'm sorry.
He just kind of shrugs, holds his hands up.
Oh, I got you.
I can't read
Well,
or write, he says.
the name.
He grabs the pen, the quill, whatever, dips it into the ink, and draws a big circle. Inside of that circle, he draws two more circles and an inverted semicircle. Draws a smiley face. And he looks up at you and smiles.
Very well. Inspector, this one's ready for the hangman, and I give him a wink out of view of the other guy.
He stands up and he spits at you. It hits your lapel, doesn't hit your face. The deputy comes in, grabs the man, and punches him in the stomach, and drags him out of the cell.
We'll start with the next one. Now, your compatriot was just put to death. We're just looking for a simple question, and then you can walk away.
I will
sent you to the
happily
dock?
die before I betray the Sifan.
Surely you mean Fu Manchu.
If you know who he is, why do you need me?
Very well, Inspector. We don't need any further questions. You can execute them at your leisure.
And he will lead the man out.
Well, Inspector, the way he answered, it wasn't that we recognized his name, but that was the response of who sent them. So Fu Manchu may indeed be here, which is rather worrisome, because why would Fu Manchu care about us? what could we possibly know or have done to generate interest for such an underworld character?
Well, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'm not sure you can believe anything these people say. They have a certain fanatic loyalty, you understand?
True.
It is possible that Fu Manchu may be in London, although our understanding is that he is still operating out of the Orient. But if he is here, well, then why does he want you?
That was my exact thought as well.
What have you done to piss off such a man? He kind of curiously raises an eyebrow as if he's expecting you to answer.
I wish I knew, because I would rather not have done it. I don't know. I wish that I did. Perhaps it's a good time to take leave of London for a while. Take a vacation to Portugal or some such.
I do hear the weather's quite nice there.
That and the port and the cheese. Yes, I think Portugal is in my near future.
Well, perhaps that would be for the best. Every man can use a vacation from time to time. If you do, let me know your, or contact me from there. Send a telegram, and I can be in touch with you and let you know if anything develops with Mr. Manchu.
Indeed. Thank you, Inspector. Have a better evening. We will collect our men and be on our way.
I see you already got the new portrait up. That's funny.
It strikes me, gentlemen, that they know where the agency is if they're sending letters, and perhaps springing a trap on us at the wharf was only half of their plan.
That
We
is
must
true.
be on our guard, returning to the agency. I'll reload my pistol. Actually, no, I guess I probably don't.
Oh yeah, they will
carry
return.
around.
They will return your weapons to you. Yeah.
I probably don't have spare bullets. Actually, I imagine.
Or you might at the agency. Yeah. They got plenty of
Yeah.
ammo at the agency.
Yeah, I would imagine they have. You carry at least one rotation for the revolver. I mean, not like buckets and buckets of them, but like 6. I could see 6 rounds.
Quick loader.
Especially
I'd say because the
hunter like
only
yourself.
thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, but he's in London. It's more for security. Anyway, so he's got an empty revolver, but we'll just approach the agency with caution, I imagine, to make sure there's nothing untoward's happened.
Indeed, I imagine there's a code from Markham to put a candle in a certain window or some such if he was able to get to it and there was a problem inside, because the building is reinforced and it is well armed, or well supplied, I should say, stocked, bristling with weapons, as it were. And
Okay.
we will approach.
Sorry, approach what?
I said, and when we reach there, we will approach the building.
Okay.
No issues?
No.
Excellent. Now, you seem to recognize this sea fan. And what was the other name? Fu Manchu?
Fu Manchu. It was when I spoke with Namdek. He mentioned that this gang had moved in onto his enterprises. I know very little. I was trying to play that I had knowledge. I was trying to get something more than I had. Apparently, he's some underworld character.
This Nodek, perhaps he could be an ally if we are to go toe to toe with these Seafan.
At best,
Did you call him No Dick?
no, Namdek. He, at very best, he would be a enemy of my enemy, sort of thing. He is. Yeah. If you told me that he ate babies, I would not be surprised.
Well,
Yes.
Go ahead.
One thing's for certain, gentlemen, we will want to be significantly better armed. And yeah, if I'm able to reload my pistol and if I'm given permission to avail myself of the armory,
Of course.
Certainly,
do
yeah.
so.
I don't see any reason why not.
Indeed.
Okay. Anything else you want to do that night, or will we proceed to the next day?
Yeah, probably just keep a watch. I'd have a rifle in the or a shotgun in the front room, and at least.
Yep. Put Markham on high alert as well. Yeah.
Belgrave will
sleeping with a shotgun next to his bed.
Yeah, Belgrave's just gonna go to his room, reload his pistol, put it on the side table, and sleep.
Fair.
As well as he can with his face, spliced.
I imagine they probably gave you some nice medicine for pain.
Probably like morphine.
Actually, I don't know if it'd be something to help you sleep. Probably cocaine, right?
No, they probably give me a morphine.
I'm sure we have
morphine.
Or laudanum.
Yeah, I'm sure
laudanum.
That makes sense. Okay. The night passes. No assaults come on the offices. Gerard gets no sleep because he's up all night still working away. And in fact, when you guys get up for the morning for breakfast, he's still in there studying away. Markham is a little tired, showing a little bit of his own fatigue, seeing as he did not really get much sleep in the night. And you see, if any of you peek into the kitchen where he is preparing the coffee and breakfast, etc., you'll see he's got the shotgun leaned up against the wall right there in the kitchen with him. And then he'll serve breakfast. I think we can just skip ahead unless there's something you want to look into, and we'll have Rob make his roll in the late morning to see if he gets the spell, yeah?
Indeed.
So, Rob, you've been up all night working away at it, trying to figure it out. Now, the moment of truth has come, and I need you to roll your intelligence. You're looking for a hard success. You said you had a 55 intelligence, so that means you're going to need a 27 or better.
Okay, let me get the dice roller up here. D100. I rolled a 3. Oh, yeah, a 3 would be right? Or do I roll it twice on this? I'm not sure. No, you just rolled a 3.
Did you roll D100?
Yeah, it's a D100.
Yeah, 3 is it?
Yeah. D6.
Yeah.
No, 3 is good. You learn the spell. So you can write that into your spells. You have learned the spell Imprison Mind. Now,
just if you can, maybe after the game, you can just send it, text it to me or something, or message me it or something.
I'll send it to you.
Copy and paste it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now. Rob, new spell, Imprison Mind. There you go. Okay. Yep. It doesn't cost any sanity to learn the spell. Casting it, however, will, of course. Usually does cost sanity anyway. Maybe not always. I'm not entirely sure. Does it always cost sanity? It usually does anyway, for sure. So well done. Your all night's work was not for nothing. And you're starving and you're tired and yeah.
Yeah, I'll go out and tell them I believe I've learned it. I need to eat. I need to drink.
Markham
And
has
I
set
need to
aside
go to bed.
some breakfast for you. It was a couple hours ago, but he will. I still know he'll make up some fresh for you.
Okay. And I'll eat it and not drink coffee or any kind of thing that might keep me awake and go straight to bed for a
Okay,
few
go straight
hours.
to bed.
Yeah, for at least
Okay.
4 hours. Probably.
Okay. Very good. Thursday, the 17th of December. So Gerard learned imprisoned mind. Anything else that you have in mind to do? Or we just move on ahead until something happens, if it does? Any further angles of investigation or anything else you want to do? Or just hang out at the agency waiting for an attack to come, perchance, or something?
Well, it'd be good to find out if we can find out where the CFAN are based. If they've got like a headquarters. It's kind of, that's probably something that Nono Namdek would know. I don't know who else we could get that information off. Unless perhaps Scotland Yard or...
If we had the information, we could pass it along to Nono to let them deal with it as underworlds types do.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just as bad as they are. I just happen to know him.
Well,
yeah, he is as much as a criminal as any of them.
Have you had any other run-ins with these CFAN? Or can we assume it has something to do with the current investigation?
I suspect it has to do with this body swapping situation.
Well, we must, for some reason, they either want to, well, not even scare us off, but kill us. And that must be to prevent us meddling in some aim they wish to achieve. Or perhaps they see us as a competitor for something, such as the location of this cube, I say, and I point at the schematic.
I thought you were going to pull the cube out of your pocket. Like, where did you get that?
This cube.
Yes, the schematic.
All along.
Okay. Well, later on this day, probably around midday, actually, it will be Wilhelm von Zorn's funeral. Does anyone attend?
Of course.
Yes.
Markham will attend. Mrs. Levi will also attend. Where is good old Mrs. Levi? She is there. Okay. Of course, Mrs. Levi will attend. She was particularly fond of Master von Zorn since he was such a big fan of her strudel. She learned how to make it just for him. Oops.
Oh,
Mrs. Levi.
When it comes to good looks, she's a great cook.
It's a little insensitive, don't you think?
I did say great cook.
And also, you will see another man you might recognize.
Colonel.
No, that was it Hardcastle?
That's Van Zorn's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
well, that is brother.
In-law.
Brother-in-law.
Well, sort of, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Girlfriend-in-law.
Yeah. It's his ex-girlfriend's brother, the one who was showing up quite often around the offices during von Zorn's illness to check in on him, etc. You know, he would be there with his sister and a young boy who looks to be maybe 10-ish. The woman will actually shed some tears. Hardcastle doesn't. Neither does the boy. But
neither does Reuben.
Okay, fair enough. Mrs. Levi cries like a what? She cries a lot. Markham will try to
He'll try
comfort
to
her.
cry. Oh, Markham will try to cry.
No, he will try to comfort her as best he can. But yeah, okay. And the funeral passes. And the rest of Thursday, what else would you like to do? Then in the late afternoon, evening, anything in particular, or will we carry on?
I think we're on cruise control at this moment, trying to figure out what's going on with the threat.
No problem.
Keep vigilant as well to see if anyone's casing the agency or keeping an eye on it. Perhaps the birds can help with that. So anti-surveillance.
I do see the potential to speak to No, actually.
Do you want to do it that same day, or?
Yeah, we'll set up another meeting.
What is your luck?
Currently is a 46.
Okay. So you have to set up another meeting. No is very busy currently. The message comes back and says that the earliest time he can meet with you will be on Monday.
He will send another note back saying it has to do with, and he's going to draw the classic Fu Manchu mustache.
He will meet with you on Saturday.
Saturday it is. And it's Thursday now?
So no meeting on Saturday.
I guess PC Baker's funeral is probably going to happen at some stage too.
Oh yeah. PC Baker's funeral would actually happen the same day as von Zorn's funeral, so on Thursday. Oh no, they didn't find his body till the next day, did they? No, it'll happen on Friday. Sorry, that makes more sense.
Well, what to do about that guy?
He should be kept away from the funeral.
Yeah.
Right. He wants to go because he wants to see his family, his wife.
Right.
Sorry, he doesn't have any kids. He wants to see his wife.
Well, we're gonna.
It's my funeral. I should be allowed to attend. You can't keep me here against my will, can you? Do you intend to?
No, but if you leave these walls, there is an almost guaranteed chance that you're going to end up back in Bedlam, and they won't let you out this time. So let us do a little bit of stage work, as it were. If you were sitting directly across from your wife, what would you say?
I'll have to convince her that I am me.
And then you would end up in Bedlam.
It looks like I'm stuck like this. She has to learn to accept it, just as I do.
Sir, what is the kindest thing you can do for your family at this point?
Let's say that it wasn't what you have now.
He stops for a while and he looks at her. yeah, in his Chinese woman body. Looks very pensive for a while, staring off into the distance. Yes, of course.
Yes, let's look at this a little bit differently. Your situation is incredibly unique, but let's say it was something else, like you had traveled abroad and you came back with some jungle fever, and they told you it was contagious. You wouldn't want to see your family. You would let them live their life until you were healthy again, correct?
Yes, of course.
Well, let's at least have a day or two. You have to give it a little bit of time. You must admit it is a peculiar situation at best.
You're right.
Now, that said, I completely agree for a point of closure. If you wanted to go to the funeral and stay far away and just observe from a distance,
Yes.
we could
With
stay
a,
close and help you through the process because I'm sure it'll be difficult.
a hat and a veil and some such.
Exactly. So that you can at least see her. You could possibly give her a very short condolence and then we could whisk you away.
Yes, yes,
Do
that
you
would be
think
acceptable.
do you think going to your own funeral would require a sanity roll?
I think so, yeah.
But keep in mind, you must keep your wits about you and not say anything.
Yes, no, I understand.
Just before we go to the funeral, of course, he's going to give him a dose of laudanum.
Um, and was he Catholic?
No. No, no.
No, that was
Right,
London
okay. Because
Anglican Church, right?
Yeah.
it's a bit of a blend, I think. But the as long as there's no open casket or anything crazy going on.
Yep, no. Considering they pulled his body out of the river, there probably won't be an open casket. It'd probably be pretty gross.
That's fair. Fair.
Yep. Okay. So Thursday night, um, there is a late night visit. Like late night after 9 p.m. The bell rings. Markham answers it and announces Mr. Godfrey Williamson, the psychic from before. Williamson comes in nervously, asks for brandy. Markham looks at you, Reuben.
Uh, we are at the moment having the brandy aired out. What can we help you with, sir?
Oh, a gin will do then. He waves Markham off, and Markham just kind of looks at you aghast and walks off to the kitchen.
Yes. What can we help you with?
I was reading my cards tonight, and I've foreseen a great peril. My cards indicate that John Bidwell and the seance that we all took part in is somehow involved. He give me a psychology rolls.
Whew.
We have to go to his house immediately.
87. I failed.
Okay.
Oh my god! I think I may have succeeded.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 7, so I think
Yeah, I think
So you
so.
get a base 10%.
Yep. So put a tick mark next to it for later improvement for sure.
Whoa!
How many days has it been since the attack?
Which attack?
Fight on the wharf.
Oh,
It's-
this is the day
How's
after.
Belgrave going?
Oh yeah, I'm probably not up for much at the moment then.
Okay, you're probably laying in bed, sleeping enough.
Yeah,
Took a dose of morphine and went to sleep.
right.
Fair enough. So it's just Gerard, August, and Ruben.
John put another picture in there. It looks definitely better than what I had together.
Did he? Well, I'll deal with it later. I want to continue for the moment. Belgrave is not present.
It still looks like it
we
would cut right
acknowledge-
through the bridge of your nose.
Yeah, I have those. to do.
We must go to his house immediately. And August, you can tell that he's being sincere. He seems to have experienced something, and he is genuinely frightened. I have a carriage waiting.
But why, sir?
I don't know. It's something is wrong. We're in great danger.
So we
Especially
should
you and
go.
I, he says, gesturing to Reuben and Gerard. You two and I.
Gerard. Interesting. Well, what say you? What say you, good men of the agency?
Yes, let's it certainly will break the mood at least. See what
Where
this.
is your man with that gin? It'll have to wait. Please, we must go immediately.
Well, sir, if this pans out, I have a hip flask here.
He walks out. I presume you follow him.
Yep. So check I've got
Indeed.
my Webley.
Gerard, you as well.
Yep.
Grandma know to.
Okay. So as you head off towards what was the name of that? St. John's Woods. I remember that. St. John's Wood. Head back to St. John's Wood where Bidwell's house is. You find the Bidwell house standing dark and foreboding as you arrive. A cold, damp fog billows around you, chilling you to the bone. It is December, so I guess that's not entirely surprising, but the gas lamps just barely cut through the fog, shrouding everything in thick shadow. You walk up to the house. There's no police officer standing outside. It has been, 5 days since the murder. The door is locked. Williamson
You
says,
brought us to a locked door. Do you have a key for it? Sir?
no, if you can't deal with it,
Perhaps-
then we'll have to break a window or something.
Well, perhaps we should enter via the rear entrance.
Very well. You walk around to the back. The rear door is also locked.
Believe, sir, you are acquainted with this lock. I say to Reuben.
So I just have that cool. Williamson, wow, 99 doesn't notice what you said. He's like, can you get it open, or do we have to break in?
Let me check. It may not actually be locked,
Okay.
and he will pick the lock.
Okay, go for it. Give me a roll.
Give me a second. And we get a 59 might not work. Let me check. Locksmith 60. Made it by 1.
Okay. Cool. Yep. It opens.
See, it wasn't locked. It was just stuck.
Very fortuitous. I'm surprised they didn't lock it when the police left it. But well, let's go in before anyone notices us.
Indeed.
As you walk in, the building is cold and silent, but otherwise, much as you last saw it, nothing really appears to have changed. I'll pull up the map now again. So coming in through the back door, let me make the screen bigger so I can actually see. Yeah, coming in through the back door, right by the kitchens. Yeah, you'll still see the scullery next door is still stacked up with all the china and stuff. You know, the canapes and finger foods or whatever are all still left there rotting away.
What about
Williamson pulls out a deck of tarot cards and shuffles them in his hand and pulls a card. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I know they were using a lamp last time when they were walking around. Did they leave it by the back door?
Where did you leave it? Do you remember?
Or the lantern?
John?
Oh, yes.
That's where we did actually go back out the back door. So I would assume
Okay.
they would
Yeah,
left
it's still
it
there. It's right where you left
But
it.
So light.
not
light
habit of collecting mundane large items.
Yeah, it's still there. So you can take it, light the lamp. And Williamson holds the card, looking at it. He says, "The Hermit." He shows you the card. A recluse, a man who has abandoned the world and everything on it. A misguided soul lost to humanity. Come, the seance was in the library.
I see.
Yeah, begin climbing the stairs towards the library.
Yeah, as you are climbing the stairs, you'll see light seeping out beneath the door to the library.
Men, prepare yourselves.
As you
Yes,
approach the
good.
library, the door swings open. Inside, you see several people seated around a table with gas lamps on the wall burning brightly. You see all of the people who took part in the original seance, except for Bidwell and, of course, von Zorn, gathered around the table, set exactly as it was the night of the seance.
It
The
seems
others,
we've all
the
been
others
called.
look up and they all look confused as you walk in.
Does Godfrey seem surprised by this?
No, he says. See, we weren't the only ones drawn here.
Yes, but for good or for ill?
Well, there are 2 seats open, and where's the cube?
There are 3 seats open.
3
4 seats,
seats.
because Bidwell's seat's open, Von Zorn's seat is open, and of course yours and um, um, Gerard's. You don't see the cube. Bidwell originally brought the cube in with him, remember?
Right, I know. I was just saying out loud.
From where?
What?
Well, I wasn't there, obviously, but I'm just
No,
wondering on
that's true. This
behalf
is your
of the
first
other
time.
guys.
I'm having unstable
Ah.
internet again. Apologies, lads.
He basically just pulled it out. It was like, ta-da, here's my thing.
Okay.
You walk in
Right,
to the
okay.
library, or are you going to stand out in the hall and look in?
Yeah, I'll, unknowingly, August takes von Zorn's place.
Okay. Once you've all entered the library, the door glides shut behind you.
Of course it does.
The gas lamps go out, and the candles on the table spark and flicker to life. And one of the ladies at the table says, What's going on? We all seem to have been drawn here by some kind of dreams or visions."
Or charlatans.
The door to the den opens, and a robed figure steps into the library. "Welcome. I'm glad you all could come," the figure utters in a familiar voice. Throwing back the hood, you see it to be John Bidwell.
The same hood as in the masked person on the docks?
No, that guy just had like a scarf drawn across the bottom of his
Okay,
face.
okay.
Bidwell laughs as the guests stare in disbelief and says, "There are forces greater than life and death."
Indeed.
I get my pistol out under the table.
And
"I have summoned you all back here to show you the fruits of your labor. The seance, you see, was indeed a success," and he pulls a crystal cube out from his coat pocket. The smoke from the candle swirls and thickens, forming a funnel-shaped cloud. Blue flashes spark through the alien crystal in his hand, and the smoky funnel twists, the narrow end pressing against and then through the library wall. And the funnel now forms an impossibly long black tunnel that stretches through the wall off into an infinity. I would like you all to make sanity rolls, please.
and then he's going to draw his sword.
Well, sanity rolls first, please. As you see this tunnel form out of the candle smoke and stretch off into infinity through a wall.
Yikes. I failed.
Ruben, you will lose 2 points of sanity.
2 points of sanity.
Sharpen, take a breath.
Really?
You will only lose 1, August. Gerard? You there, Rob? You need a sanity roll. Did we lose Rob?
Not sure.
He probably has a phone call or a guest or something, perhaps. Okay, remind me he owes me a sanity roll. Bidwell steps over to the wide mouth of the funnel, now over 10 feet across, and displays the cube in the palm of his hand.
Can
You
I
say you draw your
shoot the
sword,
cube?
Reuben?
And it would be his intention to draw
do
the
so.
sword, step forward, and cut his hand off.
He says, "This is the key," and roll your attack. And do you want to shoot him now, August, or are you waiting? You can shoot him before Reuben steps up to,
Please feel free.
if you wish.
I was going to shoot the cube.
Ah, okay.
Well, then shoot the cube. Do as you were gonna do, dude.
I'm probably going to miss, I imagine, because it's a small target.
Don't fumble, is all I will say.
Don't fumble. Well, I'll just roll. We'll see what happens.
And you have plenty of luck.
65 I rolled.
That's not a fumble, at least, for sure.
Now, is it point blank?
For sure.
What is your dexterity? Your dexterity is like 75 or something, right?
It's 15 feet.
Yeah,
point
15
yeah,
feet.
you're fine. You can.
But would it be a penalty die for the size of it, probably as well, right?
No. I'll just go with your roll.
Okay. So I'll roll.
You shoot the cube.
Actually, I have to spend 5 luck to shoot the cube, but yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. 75 was your dexterity, not your. Do you want to spend 5 luck?
Yep.
Okay, you shoot the cube, and the bullet ricochets off the cube, or maybe even just like bursts, But the cube sits still in his hand, and he begins to laugh. Make your sword cane attack there, Reuben. This is the first time you used a sword cane, isn't it?
In a long time. He used it in the first couple episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Then he's been shotgunning everything ever since.
Oh, you didn't bring a shotgun with you?
I did not. 32. So let me check real quick. I can spend 2 points and make it a hard success.
There's no point. How much damage do you do?
There is a point. It's a sword cane. There's a point and an edge.
So, yeah. Damage?
Stand by. The damage.
Yeah, I think it's
is
only
1d6.
Successes.
Yeah, it's 1d6 plus strength damage, which he doesn't have anything special.
Okay.
1d6 is a 5.
Okay.
I was here. I just couldn't get to the microphone. Okay. So
okay.
I lost some sanity. Yes, I did.
You did? Okay. You
Yes.
lost 4 points of sanity.
Okay.
So you slash him with the sword cane, Reuben, and it cuts through the jacket, and blood splashes out briefly, and Bidwell shimmers completely and changes into Hanson Bartlet, still holding the cube. I need you all to make sanity checks, please.
Jesus Christ.
Success.
Just made it.
Another one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, a success? No loss if you made a success. Sorry. How did you do, Rob, on your second sanity check? Rob?
I believe he said he rolled a 5.
No, I rolled about 5 more than what I had in sanity.
Okay.
So.
You lose 1 more point of sanity, please, then, as you see him change into Hanson Bartlet. Now, jacket once more whole. No signs of any blood. And now I would like you all to make spot hidden rolls, please.
Spot hidden.
Fail.
Oh, and also he makes an attack back against Reuben, but I'll roll that after your spot hidden rolls.
Success. A basic success.
You now notice odd shapes moving down the black swirling tunnel. As they're moving closer and growing larger, they look to be some enormous multi-legged worm-like creatures. Think of like the, maybe not quite as big as the sandworms in Dune, but with legs, multiple legs.
Whoa.
That kind of a look.
Whoa.
May I present your new masters, Bidwell chuckles, as he swings his or non-cube holding hand into an open palm strike towards Ruben's chest. Ruben, are you going to dodge or fight back?
Dodge.
Roll it, please.
A 22. Let me see what that is. 1 second. Dodge. Oh, 22 exactly is hard success.
Okay. Do you have enough, what do you want to call it, luck to turn that into an extreme success, or do you want to take the damage?
He has 45. I'd have to go down to a 9. That's a lot.
It's up to you if you want to spend that much or not. That's what, 36 points you'd have to spend?
No, he has a 22.
20. Oh, so at least 45 for some reason. 45 is your, yeah.
Yeah, 45 is his basic.
Do you want to spend 13 luck or not? It's your choice.
Just because he needs to keep his wits about him, I will spend it.
Okay. So you just managed to dodge as the hand, like you feel almost like a shockwave of force come up as you dodge the attack.
Fantastic.
As the worm things, several of them begin to crawl out of the tunnel into the library. One of them is holding a glowing sphere that appears to be made of some kind of metal or energy simultaneously. And you get a feeling of sentience off of it as it kind of shimmers. I would need all of you will see now that they're stepping out of the tunnel. I would need you all to make sanity rolls, please. You see many more of their kind crawling down the hellish tunnel gate.
God.
How big are these things actually? Size? Ooh. What would that be?
I don't know if you could succeed on this sanity roll, but anyway, I did. So
240 is their size, so they're more than twice the size of Loyal Gibbs, if you will, who's like almost 8 feet tall. You failed?
I succeeded, but
you succeeded. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm the fresh recruit.
You don't lose anything for that one. Jesus. How about Ruben and Gerard?
Ruben had a success.
Ruben loses none as well. What about you, Gerard?
You are muted if you didn't know.
You've also got to track, what is it, like 5? If you have 5 in one session, is it, or something like that? You lose 5 sanity.
No, it's if you lose 20% of your sanity in a single session.
It's usually the same as your magic.
If you lose
rating.
5 in a single roll, that's about a madness. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
If you lose 20% in a single session, it's slightly different. How'd you do, Rob?
I made it this time.
Okay, cool. You lose no sanity this time. What do you wish to do? There are now 2 of these worm creatures in the room, and of course, you still have. Well, it's no longer Bidwell. He's now Hanson Bartlet standing beside you, Ruben. I guess we'll go with August first because he has a drawn pistol in his hand. Do you have initiative?
So we've discussed this spell, right? I would have at least a cursory or not. The mind.
Is that my internet going again, or is he breaking up?
I
think it's my internet. Sorry. What did you say? Have you discussed the spell?
Yeah, you know the spell that Gerard was learning.
I think you
what would
discussed
August
it a little bit,
know?
at least,
Yeah. The spell, Gerard. Bind him, and I'll be pointing my gun at the now Bartlett holding the cube. And can I delay my turn till after Gerard?
Sure, you can. Next would be Ruben. What do you do, Ruben?
Holy mogoly. When we came into the room, you said there were lanterns.
Yes, but they had winked out and the candles had come on. Now the candles are the only light in the room.
Well, wrestling with his own conscience. If we leave, all the people die. If we set the place on fire, all the people die, and maybe those die. I'm voting for fire. He'll grab a candle, whatever's close, and throw it at whatever's flammable. The curtains, the drapes,
Okay.
whatever. The carpet,
They go
rugs.
into flame.
Wow, that's
Gerard, casting the spell.
some
Are you going to cast a
flammable
spell?
Well,
buttons.
that's what I was going to ask in this round was, what exactly did that spell contain? I mean, what does it do?
It
You've read
destroys
enough
an
of it.
entity's ability, magical or natural, to switch minds or possess other beings, or in any other way leave the body it is currently in. If you cast it yourself, it'll cost you 10 magic points, and it'll cost you 1d6 sanity, and then we will match
I'm
power
not sure.
rolls.
I'm not sure if it's
who's
entirely appropriate to the situation, but we don't really have a whole lot of options.
I just don't know where it's going to stop, though.
Do you have 10 magic points?
I believe so. Let me get it up here. I'm just having a hard time getting to my stuff. So hold on just a second here.
Because he's not actually swapping bodies, but he seems to be somehow like shucking off the personalities like some kind of layered cocoon or something.
I have 14 magic points.
Yeah, okay, so you have enough magic points. Do you want to cast a spell?
Sure, might as well.
Okay, so it costs you 10 magic points and bring you down to 4, and you lose 3 points of sanity. And
That's a
please
total
roll
of
your
9
power.
sanity.
Roll your power.
Okay, my power, okay, is
Let's see
70.
how he did on his power.
Let's see. Let me get the dice roll up here. 70 and a D100 roll. 25, so I made it.
25. What kind of success is that? What level of success is it?
I got 25 out of, I think it's 70.
So you have a
70.
hard success?
It's my power. My power is 70.
You
Yes.
have a hard success, and I have a hard success. What happens if there's a tie?
Did you say in a combat it was the aggressor wins or something? Or what?
Generally speaking, like if it's a dodge, then the dodger wins. If it's a fight back, the
Okay.
the aggressor wins. But I guess this would probably apply mostly as a dodge. So okay, you're not sure if the spell worked or not, but his visage changes again, and he is now Wilhelm von Zorn.
Would it be a dodge or would it be a fight back, though?
I don't know. It just says that this effect happens if it's overcome. It wasn't overcome. I guess you could spend luck if you want to make it into an extreme success. You have 70 as your normal power. You rolled a 25, so 70. What's 1/5 of 70? It's 14, isn't it? You'd need to spend 11 luck.
Let's see what my luck is right now. My luck right now is, 41. I would spend that.
Okay, just drop it down by 11 points.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that would be 30.
Still, his visage changes to that of Wilhelm von Zorn. But your spell worked anyway.
Okay.
As far as you know, he should not be able to ever leave that body again. I believe that's if the spell may be cast. If the target's power is overcome, the target is forever trapped within the body it inhabited when the spell was cast. There you go.
Which is when I unload 3 bullets.
It's only against elder gods or great old ones or such that it then only lasts a certain amount of minutes. Cool, good to know. So you take your shots. Go ahead, August.
Okay, point blank, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Still. 10.
Okay.
Quickly.
Give me damage roll.
Damage. 5 points damage. I'm
The
just
visage
checking whether
changes to that of the Chinese woman that
that was
Bill
a
Baker's mind currently inhabits. That was what? How much damage? 5, you said, right?
Yeah.
And now you can make your next attack.
Yep. So that's a hit for 8 points. And
8
another
points.
hit.
Okay. His visage changes to that of Constable Bill Baker's original body. And he lets out a horrible scream and falls to the floor. His body rips open and one of those worm things squeezes out of the writhing fleshy shell. You don't know how a 16-foot long, 8-foot tall, well, that would be 8 foot tall, like 6 foot tall, multiple-legged worm crawls out of the body of a man, but it does, as improbable as that seems. Everybody make sanity checks.
I use my shotgun as soon as I'm able to, so I'll roll my sanity first, though.
Oh, you have a shotgun?
Yeah, maybe the one I always carry with me. Shotgun.
Ruben has a failure.
Okay, Ruben loses 3 sanity points.
Oof.
Success again.
You lose none.
It's nice being the new recruit.
Gerard?
We're rolling against our sanity, and I did not make it.
You lose 2 more sanity points.
Okay.
So for a success, was it no sanity or 1?
None.
Or?
Correct.
I found the answer. I just put it in chat because it won't matter right now.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's for magic, is it?
That's just for opposed rolls.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. Good to know. Thank you. Yeah. Who's next? I guess
I've got 1 bullet left,
Oh, yeah.
which I can. So it's just a normal hit for 6 points
Who are you
against this
shooting?
worm.
The worm?
I guess the worm creature, because what he would have done was just done
Okay.
3 shots, and he would have emptied that
You
last
see
shot
the
into
bullet
the.
impact the carapace or whatever you call it of this worm. The bullet flattens and falls to the ground. Did not penetrate.
Well, knowledge is power.
And the fire begins to spread. People are screaming. Some of them run out the door, which opens as they do so. They run screaming out into the house. And that brings us to Gerard. Oh, wait, no, this is the same round that Gerard did his. That's right, did his spell. So it brings us back to the top of the order. Let's see, Ruben is holding a sword cane. So, August, you would once again have initiative with your gun.
Yeah, seeing this bullet flatten and fall to the ground, I think he searches for other options. And so, whereabouts is the cube right now? It's fallen to the floor.
Oh, yes, it is. It has fallen to the floor.
And has that affected this kind of tunnel, this dark tunnel?
It's still there.
I guess he leaps up onto the table and will move down to see if he can retrieve the cube.
Yeah,
and make a dash for the exit.
And dash for the exit.
Yeah.
As you do so, one of these worm creatures makes an attack at you. Tentacle, basically. It looks like, am I reading that right? Yeah, a tentacle kind of lashes out from it.
Oh god, that's gonna hurt. I just did a basic success with dodge.
Okay. Basic success. Okay, the damage will be 8 points.
Oh.
Is that a serious wound? I assume it is, unless you have 16, 17 or hit points or more.
Says 10.5. That doesn't. Is that?
10.5.
How do you calculate hit points again? Does
10.5
10.5
should be probably 11. I'm guessing it should be on your character sheet. Hit points.
Yeah, it's a auto-calculating character sheet. So I don't
And
know.
it says 10.5. Really? I've never seen it
Yeah,
calculated. I don't know what
I
character
don't know.
sheet you're using. It'd probably be 11. We'll go with 11. So yeah,
11.
so it does 8 points
Okay.
damage. You're down to 3. Give me a Constitution roll.
Okay. 44. My Constitution is 40.
Okay.
Can I spend 4 points of luck
Sure.
or not?
Sure.
Yeah.
You maintain consciousness. You maintain consciousness and run out the door. Next in initiative is Gerard.
Okay, set it up for me where I'm at compared to what's happening here.
Standing
How
by
close?
the table near the portal,
Mhm.
there are basically 3. Well, there are 2 worm things real close to you. One of which is now moving over towards the door because it just attacked. The third one is moving towards the door because it just attacked August. A couple more are coming through the portal now, and you can see countless numbers of others down that infinite tunnel.
And the tunnel is being held open. Can I tell what's holding it open and what's continuing it to?
No.
How much for the living shroud?
You're not sure.
And nobody was able to actually kill any of those things by shooting them before, right?
Well, only one person shot one so far. It didn't seem to affect it.
Didn't seem to affect it. Okay. What is around me that I could use? Is there
Candles.
fire?
The curtains are on fire on the window beside you.
It's a nice name, just like buckets.
Okay. I'll grab the fiery curtains and try to throw them on the worms, as many as I,
cool. Give me
can.
a. Are you trying to throw it, or are you trying to kind of just?
Yeah, that's what you just did.
Sure. Give me a brawl roll, please.
Okay.
Sold,
So I'm rolling a D100, and I rolled a 6. So I'm sure I've.
Really?
I'll look it up to be
Wow.
sure. But
What's your brawl?
I don't know. I'm hoping it's something more than. Okay, brawl would be under. It's not under brawl.
Fight, brawl.
Fight. Okay, fight. I don't. Oh, fighting. Brawl. 25.
Okay, so that is a hard success. You hit it. Okay. Yeah, you've got a burning curtain thrown over its head. Ruben, what do you do?
Ruben's going to clear out if he can't get the cube. You said when the one transformed into a worm.
August grabbed the cube.
Okay, very good. I missed that. Sorry. Then he's going to clear the room out, and if any of his friends are not able to make it out, he'll try to jerk them out as he can.
Just in case you're just trying to get the other people out of the room.
Nope, not even concerned about the other people.
Okay, just Gerard.
Yep.
Okay, you grab Gerard and start moving towards the door. Worms attacks. Do you want to dodge or fight back, Ruben?
He's gonna dodge.
Okay, please roll.
For sure. Stand by.
I have an
Die
extreme
roll.
success.
Ooh, Jesus. It's only a 20. I don't think that's an extreme. Dodge is 45, 22, and 9. So it's just
spend 11 more points of luck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, it is a monster. So yeah, I guess I will.
Okay, you managed to dodge the first attack. Second one attacks you with a bonus die.
What?
Because you're being ganged up on. You have 2 attackers.
That's not very nice.
Roll your dodge or fight back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I thought you were waiting. I was waiting to hear what was going to happen. 39. So it's just a regular success.
Do you want to spend enough luck to make it a hard success?
Oh my God. 39. I only have 21 left. So I would need a 22. That's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I would need what?
17.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Don't ever die with luck.
Okay.
Okay.
Take 17 points of luck off.
I'll take it.
The third one attacks.
Third one. What? the what?
There are 3 in the room and more coming through. Okay,
Bastard.
roll your dodge. I have a
Hold
hard
on.
success. I had 2 bonus dice that time.
I get a bonus die. Is that what you said?
No, I had 2 bonus dice because it was the third attacker.
Well, a 12, but I don't have enough luck to do.
A 12 is what? A hard success?
It is a hard success, almost an extreme success.
Okay, Stanton Renard, you dodge. You dodge the third attack.
Dude.
2 more come into the room. And yeah, you just flee.
If I can.
I don't think they
Can I run?
What's their movement? Yeah, you can run on your own turn. He was already pulling you along anyway.
Okay. I'm running for the kitchen. I'm getting salt. I know they have salt in there. Maybe they're like slugs, dry them out and kill them. I don't know. What do we got left to do?
Okay.
I don't know.
You run for the kitchen downstairs.
Yes.
Worms in pursuit. August, you continue running out of the building, I presume, or where do you run to stop?
No, he flattens himself against the passageway wall and stares down at this cube in his hand. And is it possible for me to interface with this thing? I know from what I've heard, it's some kind of communicator.
As you're staring into the cube, let me go back to where this is. Hold on.
Because I saw that he opened the portal with the cube, so I'm hoping I can close it somehow against all
he had
odds.
the cube in his hand when he opened it. He said it was the key. And so when you stare into the cube, here we go. Where is it? Other options. Here we go. Should someone look into the cube? Okay. You feel your you feel like another consciousness probing inside your own. And suddenly you feel like another personality flood into your own and force your own into a corner, essentially, as it takes over your body, pockets the cube, and pulls a gun. What's your... oh, no, I'll roll for his, actually, sorry. Ruben, you come running out into the hall, and August draws his pistol and fires at you.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, you don't get to dodge bullets. What's the damage on your gun, August?
1 to 10.
1 to 10? Just straight 1d10, yeah? So it's I
so
got it impale.
No,
it's a d10 plus 10. 20 points of damage, Ruben.
Jesus Christ. Hold on.
I think you're dead.
There's nothing I can do, right?
You can't dodge bullets.
He's dead.
Yeah, he shoots you right between the eyes. Your brains splatter all over Gerard behind you. Gerard, what do you do?
I'm fucked, so I'm going to do the spell of a zombie on Ruben's corpse.
Oh, what's that spell called?
It's a raise a zombie.
Raise dead or raise zombie? Raise zombie, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up here real quick. Grimoire. Yes. This is what I'm looking for.
That way,
Aren't you
Ruben
glad
gets
you
his
didn't come
revenge.
along, Belgrave?
Oh yeah, very much so. I had some ideas that you guys are in there, but unfortunately, I can't really table talk them.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Raise zombie. I'm just looking for this spell so I can find out exactly how long that takes. Oh, is that actually considered a summon spell? It might be. Where's the spell? Okay, let's do it.
Wow, I can't believe it was just, there's no even like a struggle against this creature. It just took me over.
Well, hold on. It's not over yet. Don't worry. Don't worry. Easy for me to say. Don't worry. Raise zombie.
Don't worry, Ruben. Don't worry.
On my paper, it says create zombie.
Create zombie. That's a different thing.
Yes, okay.
Sorry, so that's back on page 2 43 or something. 243. Okay. Create zombie. Spell variations. Opposed rolls. Oh, the actual spell stuff is on page 245, 255. Or is it 253? Yes. Okay, it's going to cost you 16 magic points, which you do not have. And it takes a week to cast.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do? Actually, what is your dexterity? 50?
Dexterity is. Let me check the sheet up here real quick. Dex is. Dex is 50.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So before you actually get to go, a worm comes up behind you and tries to crush you with his legs and body. What do you you get to roll dodge?
Okay, roll dodge. Okay, hold on a second. Roll it here, and I roll a 16, and my dodge is 25.
You rolled a 16.
Yes.
How much luck do you have?
Let's see here. Still got the luck. I've got 30.
Okay, do you want to spend 4 to make that a hard success?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You dodged the attack just barely. What do you want to do? August has a gun pointed at you.
What's around me? I mean, is the staircase? Can I jump off?
You're in the hallway. Actually, let me pull up the map again.
Okay.
So you are just outside the library there on the second floor. So you're in a hallway. There's a door across from you to the master bedroom. Basically, August is standing there kind of at the edge of the hallway, right where the kind of T cross section is, you know? You're just outside the door of the library.
Okay, is he standing by stairs or anything? Like if I
No.
pushed him?
Well, there is a railing behind him. If you gave him a really good grapple, you might be able to throw him over it.
Okay, I'm doing that. I'm going over with him down. I'm just going to take him down.
Okay, roll a grapple. What's your brawl?
Okay.
Brawl fight, sorry.
Yeah.
And I will roll for him, but he is no longer technically August, so I'll roll for him with these stats.
Okay. Come on, let's get a really good low roll, as in 11. I got an 11. And I needed to do that for what stat did you say?
You got magic dice. Brawl, grapple, fight, brawl.
Fight. Okay, fight.
What is his?
Fight. Can't find fight.
Actually,
fighting. Brawl, yeah.
Yeah,
For
I have
brawl,
extreme success.
I have a 25. Yeah.
So you have a hard success. Do you want to spend 7 luck to make that an extreme success? Well, then it would just be a tie. He would still have the higher value, so he would still win. You would have to make it a critical success. So, which is like the absolute critical success would be a 0-1. You rolled a 12 or 11, was it? 11?
11, yes.
You want to spend 10 luck?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you grappled him.
Anyway.
He's resisting you with like almost superhuman strength, but you just push on, spend your 11 luck, and force him over the side of the banister. You go over the edge. Roll your luck, please.
Roll my luck. Okay. Let's see. Come on. I'm using an online dice roller, so. Rolled a 40, so it's way above what I'm at right now.
What's your hit points?
My hit points right now. Okay, hit points are. Where are they at? Oh, hit points. I've got 4.
4?
4. Yep.
Oh, you were injured already, weren't you?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know when that happened. But
you hit the ground with a sickening thud as your neck snaps, and you sit up in bed, sweating. August, you feel that personality force you out into the corner of your own mind, taking over yours, and you sit up, panting, sweating profusely in bed. Reuben, the gun goes off, you see the flash, and you're sitting up, panting and sweating in bed. It was all just a nightmare. You can have all your hit points and ammunition back.
Oh, you fucker, man! I thought, man, we just annihilated the whole
and
place.
sanity are gone. Whatever was spent is lost. And that's where we're going to end the session.
All right, so
wow.
He lost 5 sanity and he's down to 4 luck.
You can stick your character sheet back together.
Jesus Christ.
When we resume, it will be the morning of Friday the 18th.
Ruben's going to Portugal.
Oh my God.